today.
Hey guys, yeah, 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, turning into a nicely positive one for the overall market once again after a bit of a dip throughout the midday there. Back to the upside we go. Still nicely green across this board as we head towards 4 o'clock on a Friday. It is going to be interesting to see if we can hold up as far as tech is concerned, coming off these economic numbers and data points we got this morning. If you missed it, PCE, a little bit better than expected on the year-over-year number. Everything else kind of in line with expectations. We got Michigan sentiment then at 10 o'clock. That was also in line with expectations to slightly lower. Remember that University of Michigan number also has an inflation expectation portion to it, both the 1-year and the 5-year expectation downside. So that was a little bit of a benefit to the overall market. There's that pullback that I was talking about. Back to 382 on the Qs there. Here we go. Back higher currently. Yeah, JP Morgan saying a hike and a pause. Again, probably the next best thing or the next outcome. And speaking of September, right? So remember, we now have 2 months to get through before we get the next Fed decision after we got quarter point going back to Wednesday. So welcome in. Hope your Friday afternoon is going well. We are still looking at some of the individual chip names doing very well on a Friday, coming off of Intel earnings that beat right across the board. Pretty impressive top to bottom. If you're with us in the pre-market, we were discussing not only Intel, but some of the other ones in that group, namely AMD, having a pretty good day coming off of positive note upgrade 4. Most of them today. Happy Friday afternoon as we get going.
My fix is not working. Yo! What
up?
Hey now.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Palantir's making some moves. So
I'm just making some serious moves. Xpeng's making some moves.
The bulls are on the table. It's going to be an interesting afternoon because there was a point
Roku at right
that
now?
was not, I don't know, like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, when it really felt like, okay, we hit the top. That's as far as we're going. We're just going to pull back in. This is another one of those you can't punch through moments. The NASDAQ wanted 2,000, or 2%, I should say, not 2,000. That's insane. And it was going to reject
I'm all in at NASDAQ 2000. I'm all in.
NASDAQ 2000.
Like mortgages, reverse mortgages.
If the NASDAQ gets to 2,000,
sell the kids, the wife.
Let's be real for a second. You're just, all you're worried about at that point is like just protecting yourself. Like you just, give me a chainsaw because you have it's a zombie apocalypse. If we get 2,000.
Okay, chainsaw.
I meant 2%, and we rejected it. Now we're flying. I'm mad at myself for not being back into Palantir, but let's see if we can't join it at some point because there's a lot of we're going to talk about this. Oh no, Palantir isn't on here.
Fail.
That's my bad. We were going over this. I was talking about Brendan, what's going to be on here, and then that's my bad for not making sure that this got on there, but that's fine. We'll start with it anyways. So yeah, 17.5, that's 17.5. The breakout was okay. The dip buy sucked, unless you had it here. The dip buy at 17 wasn't any good, and now you're through 17.5. It's trying to hold on to it. There's already one wick, but there is plenty of room to 18 if this wants to run. We've seen Palantir go linear before, like stair step up and just give you that nice gentle glide, and it's done it twice off those bottoms. So if we are headed to the highs, I can see this holding 1750 and then breaking even higher. Lots to talk about, chips, Roku, the NASDAQ. I mean, just a little bit of everything here. It's going to be a fun end to the week.
Yes, sir. It's always going to be a fun one to the end of the week. Yeah, watch some marijuana stocks. People talking about that. What's up to Teresa? Shout out to Teresa. Shout out to Lauren. Look at that. 3 females in a row. Lauren, Teresa, and Jen. I guess it doesn't mean they are female, but shout out to everybody out there. Oh, we're talking about Intel. So you can see right now, my positions are floating in right now. Instead of Intel short, we have AMD short. And look at this trade, guys. Again, I told you, we're trying to change it up, man. We're trying to go a little more specific here. So we do have our sticky note, and it was all over this trade. So I'm pretty happy with the results there. We waited for 115. This is the patient trade that we're trying to be. We're trying to be this better trader, wait for key levels. We wrote down 115 early, and we have it late. So there it is, boom. Nice little move. We didn't cover it all. Should have. We went right back there into day's low. I don't know what we were doing about 15 minutes ago when it was down there. Oh yeah, the market's tanking, so I was waiting for a break. So that's all. We'll see about getting some more in, but yeah, what a good day it's been for Intel today. Obviously, it's up 6%, but if you sort of dig deeper, and this is like sort of the CNBC analysis, right? Like you'll log in and be like, oh, Intel's up 5%, but really it's pretty flat here today. We are looking at 37.50 on the sticky notes. So in all honesty, for patience, we could have taken this 37 short. That would have been a great, I mean, obviously a fantastic trade. Right back into all of this support here, or I guess this would be resistance, right back into their 37. So again, trade the active names, Intel a good one. On a great report, they're rebranding, sort of, not rebranding, but rebranding what they're doing. They got the foundries going on there. They've dumped the dividend. We talked about that a while ago. Now Intel's off to the races, focusing on profitability. What was it, 13 cents versus minus 3 cents? So, I mean, a great Q for Intel. And right now, it's, you know, I just think next week, like when you come in on Monday and you're above this 37.50 area, you know, that is the long right there. So we'll wait to see if that comes through. I don't know about the rest of today. It's Friday. We'll see if this get going here. I don't think it's going to break through 37.50 today. If it does get up there today, I'm a short. But if we open up near there on Monday, then I think it's the other way around. You flip that chart upside down. But this is another one. Are we going to get to XPEV? Oh, we are. Oh, no, that's Ford. But I mean, XPEV today, this is another one that we wrote down here at 22 bucks. The problem is it really didn't get going until, I guess, right when we went off the air. That's 11 o'clock. That was its lowest point. It's just upside right there. But we wrote this one down as well today. Just wish we would have had a little bit more horse sense to hold that a little bit longer. But Xpeng on the way up as well. All right, let's go back. I guess we've already sort of, you want to talk a little bit about Intel? I think we
we should talk about Intel because it's right at 37, which has been the best price pretty much all day. On the daily, that's the 37 level. It was one small breakout in June and then a flush into 30, and then we retested it again. So my plan of action was either it can hold the breakout above in the pre-market because you're gapping up above. So you have the gap, either it can hold on to the gap and take out fresh highs. It's like long on strength above it. That indicates it's breaking out. Or I said, I want to go dipping at every even dollar. So I waited for it to get to 36 to try a long because it didn't break the 37 level. It does that, fail at 37. It doesn't get all the way to 35 to try to fill the gap. If it had gone under here, I probably would have started into a long off 35. It never happened, so no trade. And then it comes back to 37, can't break it. Market was futures were at a pretty big resistance level. The NASDAQ, I should say. I mean, I wasn't looking at the ES, to be honest with you. But yeah, the futures were been struggling at yesterday's high. So when you see that and there's a stock, it's at a good resistance level, I tend to want to join that party. So 37 came in to the short side. Pretty much going to be almost all out when it hit VWAP there, which is 36.5, hold some for a home run, and then try to trail it. I do have a trail because I think if it holds its consolidation and breaks down, it's probably another short back down to 36. If it breaks up, I get out. I am thinking about a reload in here, and the only reason I haven't yet is, okay, if it resolves back underneath VWAP, sure, I wouldn't mind shorting it back into the bottom, but I feel like that'll be if the NASDAQ makes another run at 15.9 and can't get through it again. So if we go to the top and the NASDAQ can't break through, then ideally Intel is just doing nothing and still sitting here, and you can short it there. Or maybe we're shorting it off 37. But I don't want to do that until we've tested the top, or at least made a lower high. Give me some indication that we're headed back down before I jump back and add into this trade.
Oh, who knows?
It's like the web server.
We're just talking about Roku in the sense that Sharif has joined. You were just saying Roku has become the number one platform in the U.S.
Canada and Mexico.
So North America.
Yep.
When it comes to streaming platforms compared to Apple TV and any other option. But here, I'll throw this at you. I know Sean and I both have an NVIDIA Shield. So where does that fall in that category?
Here's my understanding of it. So if you log into a website right now from Chrome, the website knows. If you log in from Safari, they know. That's kind of what I'm thinking happens here. If you log in to Amazon Prime, to Netflix from Roku, they know. If you log in from Apple TV, they know. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here.
Interesting. All right. Here is a little one that's going crazy right now. I mean, it's $40, but it is a small cap. GMAB, 4.8%. A ton of volume here. Still looking for a reason why, but a huge move to the upside. Anyways, if you missed this morning, nice move both in the pre-market and once the market got open as well, which was right around here. We got a nice move through 80 up to 85 after a beat from Roku.
Yeah, Brendo, they increased sales 10.8%. Their active accounts increased by 1.9 million. And yeah, they're the #1 streaming service in North America with 25.1 billion hours viewed in the quarter.
And it helps too, I guess, when it's built right into a TV that you can just put on your wall. So yeah, I mean, it keeps getting better for Roku, guys.
I feel like there's an asterisk the way you're describing that whole #1 streaming thing. I'd like to read that article to
I'll send it
maybe
to you.
understand it a little bit more, because on the surface that sounds like, really?
Sounds incredible.
Yeah, it does sound incredible. I'm skeptical. If I hear something that I don't right away, it doesn't make sense to me. It's not that I don't believe. Of course, I believe Sharif and I trust him. It's just, wow, really, Roku? It's that good? I don't really know much about it. I don't really know anybody. One or two people I've heard that have it, so that's all well and good. But it's a short float that had everybody's interest because that's been the flavor of the week. I want to say it was 11%. But it doesn't really necessarily matter at this particular point. If you just look at the daily chart, this was setting up to go break out pretty much the entire way. It got right, and it even went right to the next zone. Like, it goes through this zone here, which started at 75, had a double top at here at about 76, 77, and then 80. And those are all the levels that I think made sense to execute at, with one exception and probably one miss, and that was at 78. So it was a breakout of the local high. It was a breakout at 77. It should have been a breakout at 78, but that was an exit, and then it was a breakout again at 80. And from there, it went to 85. I didn't hang on to my short. I threw a stop. I got wicked out of the short, and it ends up falling all the way back into 84. But this was a trend that just was pretty unabated in the morning to the upside. So there were some places to add. There was probably another place to add here at 83 that I wasn't looking at, and maybe you're buying dips along the way as well. But what a strong trend it's been in Roku. Until earnings season is over, if you're not checking out, like when we give you guys the earnings, or when you look at earnings for the next week, you got to highlight everything that's of interest that has a short float over 10%, and which is setting you up for anybody that's short this is going to want to cover through this price when you pull up a weekly chart or a daily chart, because that's been the gold standard for breakouts since earnings season has started. It's been a week that has exemplified that. So you got to do that next week. Off the top of my head, nothing's coming to mind, although I know Nikola reports next week, so that's probably something.
Yeah, there's always something happening.
Is it next week or?
Nikola?
Before, let me check that.
Why are you talking about Nikola all of a sudden?
No, because it's anything with a short float. That
Oh, yeah,
reports.
the short float. Well, we have, there are a couple names next week. We did talk about them. SoFi was 10%.
SoFi's
I did a
one.
little video on that.
Nikola does report next week.
Yeah, so I don't know. I never heard of Roku except for that. It was a banger of a trade there. We put this on the sticky note there, breaking through 76. We talked about this and how we've traded the last couple of days with Teladoc and then QuantumScape. I mean, I've gone over this, but if you're joining us again now for the first time, you may have not heard it. But there's a 76 break and there's the out. We got out at 83 for quite a nice win on that trade. But at the same time, you know, what's in the past is in the past. So we let it go all the way up, and then we started shorting against 85. And then it came back down. Our best out is 84.25. So we made money on the long and on the short there. And then, I don't know, I got out at 85.50 when it broke higher, but then the high of the day was only 86. I think Roku falls probably. I'd like to try it back here at 86 if it does come back there. So again, we've had some rough takes over the last couple times with Meta and plays that have been on earnings. But today, we hit Roku, we hit TDOC, and we hit QuantumScape. So, you know, some of these bigger tech names that have big short floats, bigger as in, obviously their market cap's not as big as the big boys, but bigger names that we do know that there are traders looking at. You know, this is what you're all about, man. You're all about these 24, 25% moves. There has to be some kind of pullback. And you know what? Heading into the end of the day here, if you're long Roku, at some point you're going to have to start to like, you know, capitalize on your great trade, or wherever you're long, or maybe even you're short. People are going to have to start to cover. And I feel like there's more here that may have been playing into, you know, Friday earning options expiration, or, you know, all this different stuff that could be playing a factor here for this Roku trade. So yeah, we'll keep our eye on it. Back up to 86. I think it's a no-brainer short. Let's see if it gets up there. We'll offer something and see if we can make a trade up top there around 86 for Roku for the short.
All right, let's go to, EV land here. Ford ends up being a bit of a choppy mess here today. It did give a test of the pre-market high, but that failed pretty quickly. It was some costing issues. There was some production issues or question marks around this. overall, I mean, the numbers were kind of meh, I guess, if you really look into it. Revenue beats, EPS beats, though. EV revenue specifically, the highlight here, they also said by 2025, they want to be profitable in their EV sector, obviously.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen for them on the EV front as quickly as they wanted to. They want to produce about 300,000 cars by the end of this year. Now they're saying by 2024, and then they want to produce 1 million cars by 2026 initially. Now they don't know when. Also, they had that recall with the F-150 parking brake, so that's not a good look.
Yeah, what was it? 800 and something thousand F-150s recalled in the States, guys.
Too much of those being recalled there. And we've heard from Randy and everybody that, Ford, what is he has a saying about Ford? I can't remember what it is.
It's never good, though.
Something about how there's going to be more recalls or something like that, and then all of a sudden they're flagship. But okay, so let's just go over to Ford. We did talk about it earlier today at 8:30 when we first logged in and started talking all about the show and what we were looking at. And of course, Ford was on the watch list, and you can come down into there. I said the only level that I'd be interested in is 13. Look at this, basically a crash off the open. I mean, it was chilling out pretty much all pre-market there, hanging out around 1350, 1370, gets bumped up, then falls right back down. We take our first spot at 11, then we get lucky enough to get an 03. It holds 13, and sometimes that's what I'm talking about. You got to get lucky, right? Like it could have just kept on going, 10 or so more pennies and we're out. So then when it comes right back up, of course we're going to be getting this out for 30, 40, 50 pennies, right? So then it's all out right there.
Two more.
He's done. Then at that point, we waited to get more out when it bumped up into the 30s again, then another out at VWAP. Now we have a small 5% left, and that's that. So Ford, again, really good name. Like everything about what they're doing over there. But yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, we talked about it. They're making money as a company, but not on their EV side of things. And the only name that I can think of for EV space is always you go back to Tesla, and that's going to be the gold standard. Remember, Ford had the release of their, they teamed up there, GM, Ford, did Rivian as well with Tesla for the charging stations. Yep. So, I do think that there's going to be something in that as well to move forward. So I like Ford down here, but I don't know, not a great report, off that 15, pretty nasty. Looks like they're going to take the 200 period and get us back down to 11.50. So yeah, man, not great for Ford holders here today, but I don't know. I feel like this is a long-term play. I mean, Ford, like I said, if we zoom this back out months and years, you'll see that it's pretty much been a dead stock for a while. So we'll have to take a better advantage of these moves when they finally start to move on Ford. Take advantage next time it's at 15. I think we're going to pair some out.
Yeah, I didn't really trade Ford today. I didn't really see the setup, so I'm going to go over Snapchat because it's not on there, and it's a bit of a day 2 play. Day 3 play, I guess, technically speaking, because yesterday was a big flush, and it made another bounce here. So it didn't get to 10 yesterday, which would have been nice if it could have bounced off 10 even, but it didn't have to. But it double bottomed right at the previous close. So I like that setup. Either it's off the previous support level, but if it holds that higher low off the close price, buyers, and then it was just, this is the range and there is the break. So it's like very stair step, take the breakout. I was adding on the way up, so my last add was at 56, probably a little too aggressive, and then I was covering and it could not seem to break out the 65 level. But as it dipped back in, I waited for 52s. I still had some at 56 and then was adding at 52. It's not really moving, but it's showing signs of holding on to this breakout. And if it gets back to the top, I want to scalp some, I want to hold some. There's still another gap that can get filled in here again into about 1075 to 1080. And the last 3 days, and I'm not saying, it was a small move yesterday at the close, and then it was a large move at the close. I mean, forget about the day before, because I guess the earnings doesn't matter. That's kind of different. But you've been kind of rallying, and there's been buy imbalances. So as long as there's a long setup, it's almost like you want to be sitting, if there is one anyways, going into the long and having it has given you a bump at about 330. So as long as it's over 1050, I do want to be in this trade to the upside. And that's the only reason I'm in it. As far as Ford goes, I kind of see the same things that Sean does. I said this morning I thought the quarter was actually pretty solid if all things put together, but that's what they said about GM, and GM went down anyways. If it doesn't hold on to the 200 period here, I just feel like it's going to be another opportunity to load back in at 11. If it bounces off the 200 period, that would be pretty darn bullish. And then I think it's almost a buy zone back above the 50 period. So if it bounces here, settles down after earnings, and can somehow hold the higher low, which it has not been doing, really. If it holds the higher low and then gets back to this top, that'd be super bullish, because every single time we get all the way back down to 11 on this stock without really having a good consolidation that can make some higher lows. It's just like it makes a top, and then we just fall. I want to see it go, hold a level, go sideways, show me a couple of weeks, and then bounce up. I don't want that consolidation to be at the low, which is what you've been finding on Ford. That said, if it gets to 11, I'm probably buying it again.
All right, let's talk Meta here. Nice move again today, back to the upside through that, just noting that 325 area if you zoom out a little bit. But a couple things to note here. This was actually late yesterday. Zuckerberg had a town hall with employees suggesting that they're going to have to implement more retention measures for threads to keep people engaged. If you remember, 100 million signups in the first week. Essentially, if you had an Instagram account, you automatically, by default, had a Threads account with a couple of clicks. But that's down 70% since then. So yeah, some changes needed maybe.
Yeah, I think the ease of with which they allowed people to sign up, kind of just like, oh, let me make an account, but user engagement remains low. But with respect to price action, shares hit over a one-year high today after they popped over 3.8%, so 52-week highs on Meta.
There was that upgrade as well that we were talking about.
Of course. How could I forget? China Renaissance upgraded Meta with a 380 price target.
China Renaissance, guys, with an upgrade. I think that's a first.
Why are we laughing at China Renaissance?
Yeah, they're getting into
I'm
the
smiling.
game. I mean, they're getting into the upgrades.
You guys were both literally laughing. Anyways, it doesn't matter, but they were both laughing. I just want to be factual about it. So this is day 2 where all of my trades are in the other direction of the trend in Meta. So yesterday, I was able to eke it out by most of it being longs in here, and then the morning was great. It was up on Meta. It was a good stock because it gave you a great range to trade in. Then it broke down. And then I tried to let's go continuously long in here over and over again when it starts breaking down. And that's when I gave it all back that I was up on Meta. Today, at least, I waited for the top. It did not. By the way, this did not hold for an hour. I'm just missing a little bit of data. I'm sure it'll fill back in later. But I wanted it to get into this area here. Once it broke that same resistance from the morning where the longs off 320 and 321, that's where they failed. So to me, that's where I wanted to see sellers come in. And if that's where they started to come in, I wanted to take my shots there. I was in too early, did not let it break, so that's a tight stop out. But then once it started breaking and following through, again, I'm missing data there. Do I have it? Black chart doesn't have it up. But once it started putting in rejection of 25 on the back end, it was like, okay, now we can't get back above 25, short, down into 323.5, right back in 25 short. This time stopped out at VWAP or trailed out at VWAP. It bounces off VWAP because it's a strong stock, and I guess that's what they do. Each time it's like, yeah, I guess you could just be long when it bounces off VWAP, but at least it's wait for your spot, wait for the setup, wait for the back end of the trade, and then it works out. I feel like Meta, if the market breaks tops, this is probably just a breakout of the long because you've got so much room upside. If we take out a fresh high, 330. The only downside to $330 is that it was made at 830. So the market, it wasn't really there in the open market. So I don't know how significant that level is going to be. But at the open, you were at 328 yesterday. So if we break out a 326 high, there's at least a couple, maybe $1.50 to $2 of upside in there. 330, I don't know how big that level is going to be. I'm always a little bit skeptical if it's just a pre-market gap up level because that means nobody really traded up there. There's no institutions or big buyers and sellers that had the chance to have a look at that 330 level. But 328, that was a dump at the open. So if we break the high, I think your target's 328 this afternoon.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, I think that Meta's been obviously a great stock to trade, but it's been tough for me over the last couple of days. Well, I mean, I did trade and lost on it again today, so I'll talk about that in a minute. But Roku is right back to an area that I said I would short it. Obviously, this is a starter position, but it doesn't really matter. Well, we have shares on, but I'd like to get more closer to 86.
What was that saying you had about Ford?
Yeah, what was that Ford? Because that they're always going into back to the shop. Like they always need to be repaired. It's like
Fixed or repaired daily?
Fixed or repaired daily. Someone put that in the chat, so I think maybe that is what it was. But Ford, did you hear that? 870,000 recalls of the F-150 for parking brake issues. Can you believe that shit? I mean, that stuff. Parking brake issues. Parking brakes were invented in what, the 1700s or
But
something?
it's not the same. I was telling you this. Like, when you get a new vehicle, there's something about the old, like, actual physical parking brake, and now it's just a button on your car. Like, yeah, it's a pedal or it's an actual brake. And there's something about the new ones where I press a button that I just don't like.
Yeah, it's not
It's weird because
on
like,
the Atlas, you got to sort of push something up there.
Yeah, like the first time
It's all what you're used to.
I used it once. I went from the Beamer to the Audi, and I used it once, and I was like, I don't remember that I got this shit on, man. Like, I know I have to. It's just so weird to me. I'm old. I'll get used to it at some point.
Randy used to be a Ford guy, but I don't think he is.
But I need to be old school. I want the handbrake. When I'm in the Jeep, I want the actual foot brake. I don't want to press a button.
I like
for
it
that
for
brake.
drifting, you know, when you're doing those donuts.
That's exactly how you can't do that when you're pressing a button. What is this, a video game? You're driving a car. It's not a video game.
It's dangerous if you do that with a button, I would think. But
what are we talking about?
I don't know. I mean, I'm short Roku right now, and Roku's starting to fall back down in just a little bit. What I was getting at. We already talked about Roku, but this is just a recent fill.
Oh, we were talking
Meta, we've already talked about that. Let's watch out for that 330, that 328 level. Neil's already hit that on the head. We're short AMD now, $2 in the money, so that's working out pretty good for us. And then right now, $84 maybe for a target for Roku. But hey, I'm going to take something out if we can get back to 85. I mean, this Roku is really, it just shot up pretty good there. And the reason why we're going short is pretty simple right here. So this is where we shorted again before. We made money back on the short. This was a good out for us right there on the way down. So we shorted there, out there, short again. That we tried it really quick. That's about 30 cents or not even 30 cents worth of a hit. So we're going to get short again now and try to get back into $86 or so right there for Ford Motor Company, or for Roku right there. We were talking about Ford. So that's going to be a trade for me. Bring it back to 85, get a piece out there. Then if we continue to drop and we're lucky enough to get where this bottom's been, 84 and change, maybe 84.50, something like that, back into here for Roku. But first things first, it actually has to go down. So let's see if Roku wants to actually do that in the first place. If it does, we'll be here for it. So we're short now, getting more about 75s, then blast off, and we'll take a 30-cent hit if that's what's in store for us. So watching out for that 86 level on Ford.
All right. Other end of the chip spectrum here on the board. AMD, we were discussing this morning. It was gapping up nicely once again in the pre-market. We got a decent move up to 115. It was a bit of a grind. There's a couple of minor stories again. This one, $400 million investment going into R&D facility in India. There was a number of positive notes from analysts again this morning, so nothing significant though.
No, not really. I mean, it's more friend-shoring essentially here, trying to ensure the supply chain stays active. They're going to build a 500,000 square foot facility in Bangalore, hire 3,000 more engineers in addition to the 6,500 that they have already on there, Brendo. So we'll see what that happens.
Nice look though. Gaps holds the gap for now, guys, for AMD.
I didn't trade AMD today. I traded Intel today, but my comment for this will be, wow, Palantir. That's my comment on AMD. It's at the high of the day. I was thinking about joining this, and then I just didn't on that last dip. The next available dip is my entry in Palantir. That'll be from somewhere 1750. It is ridiculous to look at this churn and see how much room it has to be able to run and not take the next dip buy. I don't want to take the breakout of the high of the day here at 73. It doesn't feel like it's moving rapidly enough for that. But yeah, I mean, my AMD chart's blank. Oh, that's actually not entirely true. I have an offer that I have not canceled on AMD because there was this pop into 115.10 was the high, and I was looking for a break pretty much at and then above 115 to short it. I can cancel this because it never quite got there. I didn't even realize actually this is bad, but I didn't realize I still had that offer in because I had a stop above yesterday's high and an offer pretty much at 115 that I just left in for the last couple of hours.
All right, so we, we're patient with this one, man. We talked about AMD in the pre-market and where we wanted that up to 115 on Twitter. Oh, by the way, I just posted a picture of me and my wife right here. So this is my wife. That's my wife right now. So someone tweeted something about Marissa. I don't know what, I can't remember. Oh, it was right here. Congrats, I've been learning from you every day. You and your wife make a great team, says Sergio Gonzalez.
Something different about her, I don't know.
Sergio Gonzalez.
Last time I saw Marissa.
That's my wife.
You know what it is? Actually, It's that she never actually covers her hair. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I knew there was something.
Just, just funny there.
Yeah.
Anyways, what we're talking about right here is there is right here. So again, just sticking with the sticky note, man. 115 short sell there on AMD. We can go over the levels. I could open up the chart for you, but I already do that. That's why I put these levels on there. So we thought about 115 as being a good short sell opportunity. It came right into play, and I mean, this is not my most profitable name, although it's up there. Obviously, we only have one tick in. And the rest is history on the downside right there. But I like this 115 there. That's what we talked about, so we took it in. I'm just going to hold it, see what happens into the end of the day right now. I feel like this market does want to head lower right now. See you, Sharif, buddy. We're going to see what happens now to the downside. 112.50 maybe breaking. And I mean, this is where it was right there. There's 115. We made it there recently before. There's the drop down. We've already put some lines here. That's 115.25. That goes right back into here. So we are going to give this a little bit of room. But honestly, this is another 10 to 1 R to R. So we're good. We're doing it. And it's been a real fun day here to trade once again. So AMD, we're just going to hold on to this, but it has been a nice move to the downside. Why is my... Oh, I got a lot of... Okay, people are hitting me up here. All right, so it's been a good day there on Advanced Micro Devices. Let's go back over to the desk with Brendan, I think, to wrap this up.
Yeah, rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment. Check out the QR code, bottom right corner of the screen, guys. Take advantage of this if you haven't. Great deal, 20% off. TraderTV20. Shout out to our friends over at Trade Ideas.
All right.
There we go.
Good read, Brendan. Good read. That was
I just looked up there and I'm like, oh, I see Randy's at the desk. We getting a mic on Randy?
Never.
Are we gonna get a mic on you? You want to say something in the afternoon show? I'm asking him right now, putting him on the spot because he gives me that look as if Randy is the kind of
Randy
person
kind of goes like this.
that doesn't want to be on camera, A, and then B, he doesn't have anything to say. Okay.
Right. Once we get him on camera, he has lots to say.
He'll go for like 15 minutes on any auto company that you want. Ponzi, you can get a shout out. Shout out to Ponzi, Fonzie. It was Apple Fritter Day, by the way, not Apple Dump Friday, Cowrie. I got my fritter this morning. Courtesy of Randy, so thank you very much. Every single day is always a good day. Not again.
Yeah, Roku broke through 86, so we'll have to fail ourselves. I didn't even really recognize that one, but real recognized real, and Roku is real, apparently, as that just continues to go to the upside right now. So we'll have to watch out for that. We just got stopped out, but like I said, oh, well, that might have been
now Randy's breaking.
That was a pretty high wick right there, to be honest with you guys. So maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something there right now on that Roku trade. So we could look at that.
Sorry.
What's up?
I got to say it because...
possible fade back down?
I said I was going to look at this one myself. And then you know what? There's a lot to get to.
You mentioned that yesterday.
I know, Yellow Corporation. So anyway, shout out to Natalia. Is it Natalia in the chat? Natalia, congratulations to you. Congratulations. I wish sometimes you look down. I didn't write it on my iPad. I think that's the reason. Like I have a habit of if I'm watching something in the afternoon and I want to make sure when I get in the morning that it's something that I take a look for the trade, that I'll put it down on the iPad and make sure that when I open it up, then that's the stocks I'm going to look for. So this was one where I heard some bankruptcy rumors on it. You got two moves to the downside, big time recovery, hold the higher low. It's like, yeah, if it can hold a bit, that's literally 50 cents, right? So I love round numbers for penny stocks and like really easy kind of setup where you know where you're wrong. So it holds 50 cents, long stop out 50. It's kind of it's an old school swing idea. Old school, like when I started trading, and it just keeps on going, breaking out. Now, I'm not saying a company going potentially bankrupt is a good thing, but once it hits and shows you a ridiculous bottom under $1, it's like, well, sometimes that's where the bet is. And so it's up. Obviously, a very fantastic day. This is where I say if it makes another breakout through 80, I'm probably looking for a short at $1 because there's $1 and that's what happened last time. So as a day trader, if it continues going parabolic, I probably look for a short. I'm going to double check just in case because you should always be prepared. I learned that in Cub Scouts, and then I'm not always doing it when it comes to pay for shorts. It is not free for us to get locates. So I'm going to go see how expensive it is because if this goes again, if it breaks 80, I'm going to go pay for I'll actually accept it. I wouldn't do it now because I don't think I'd short it here. I'd want it closer to $1.
Man, I'm glad my kids had to back away from Cub Scouts, man, because that was another commitment that, like, I was a Cub Scout leader for them as well. Like, geez, the days are already pretty insane. I'm gonna go one more time here on Roku. Again, it's my #1 stock today. We've been playing it quite well. The only problem is we played it well on the long side. So catching the short here might be catching a beat down. And that's what we didn't get a beat down just now, but you know, that was a short there and out. So that was, we told you, 30-cent hit. We'll take it, but you know, never like it. Anytime you take a hit, man, it is dinging into your P&L. So right now, the only reason I'm in this, you see this big wick candle, not big wick candle, but this big volume candle, it does coincide with, if I can zoom in a little bit here, you know, just blowout wicks to the top here of 86.40. So, you know, that's been a sort of a setup that, you know, in the past, we'll take those into the short. So I feel like right now, 30, we're short at, what are we short at, 30s? Yeah, 26 is there. It just came down. I thought I was bidding O's. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Where am I bidding? Oh, 01s there. It went to 03s. So anyways, we'll play it for a little bit of a pullback, see if we can make that 30 cents back now, and then hold it for much lower, right? So not only do we just want to make things back, we also try to make, you know, some profitable trades here as well. So we'll see if that can hold it right now. And then if it does pull back in, we do have some targeted outs for us, right? So if it comes back in, we'll be taking much more than the 30 cents worth of a win. So I think R to R now, we're pretty good on this trade. Again, not in love with it. It's definitely not pairing out the best way here for us, but we'll see what happens here now with this name. It's on. We're going to see if it can come back in a little bit. That's going to be just making sure we don't have too many orders out to get too overfilled, if that is what happens right now for Roku. So nice little move down. We're bidding 86.02. It just stopped at 03. Hopefully it'll fall down just a little bit more here, and we'll be able to take this even lower, man. I mean, our targets are in here for a little bit, 85.50. Then if we're back down here, that would be even better. So here it comes. Let's see if it pulls back. Just trying to make back a little bit of what we just gave up there on this Roku short. So here it comes. Maybe it's not. It just, darn it, it's too bad. It just stopped right there, kind of on a dime there. So that's not a great look. But let's see if it pulls back in. We do have to go to Brendan for an update, maybe.
All right, expert analysis time. I can't hear anything, so just give me a second. But Randy's with me. You can't see him, but Randy is beside me here. Give me your thoughts. Give me your views here on this Ford report. We touched on a few highlights, just kind of top level this morning. But I mean, there's a lot of interesting aspects to this, and we were saying just before we came on here, you know, playing catch up in the manner that not only Ford but GM is going to have to as well, coming from behind is never ideal and is a very, very hard game to win.
I mean, if you're an ICE manufacturer, which Ford and GM and Stellantis and Volkswagen and all the other ICE manufacturers that are playing catch up to Tesla and to, you're right, it's unbelievably hard to catch up. And then you also have to continue to make ICE vehicles, which you're recalling to the tune of $1.4 billion in the last 10 months. Like,
notional.
You know, we've talking Ford Escape engines. We have the F-150 recall. We've got recalls galore. I'm just trying to find that page here. Yeah, Ford Escape engine manufacturing recall. This is profit. This slows their production down.
Yeah.
This slows their overall growth into the EV push because they're tied up capital expenses and dealing with all these other problems. The recalls cost them a fortune.
Yeah.
Labor problems, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they lead the recall parade globally, which is
almost
a
weekly occurrence.
It's a weekly occurrence, and people are tired of hearing it. If you own a Ford, it's disappointing. And are you a loyal customer anymore? Do you devalue the brand? Do you devalue the platforms that are built on the brand? So if you're going to rush out and buy an EV, will it be a Ford?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a...
Not at this point, that's for sure.
It's not a good position for them to be in. $1.4 billion alone in the last 9 or 10 months on recalls. That's a lot. Into their profit margins.
And they're not, as you said with the engine aspect, they're not small things.
No.
Like this emergency brake thing on the F-150 is, you know, you're driving down the street and automatically your electronic emergency brake on your truck just engages.
Yeah,
that's probably not good.
Guaranteed to cause an accident, you know, or a fatality, which nobody wants to have. Obviously, these are big, serious recalls, engine failures, big components, and these take a lot of time to fix. It's on the dealers to fix the cars. So now you're without a vehicle, and it's truly something they need to really focus on managing. to spend less of their capital on so they can focus on finally getting more EVs out the door. The Lightning's had its own issues. They need to deal with this in a manner that's a little more effective than they are now.
Ford being Ford, more of the same, it would appear anyway. Give me your thoughts on this as well. When are we buying Tesla? Not a Tesla, but Tesla.
You just showed me the dip. As I mentioned, I think I'm gonna probably go long in the next couple weeks, and then we're gonna hang on to about the third week of September. Why? We're gonna have Shanghai numbers. We're gonna have Berlin numbers. We're gonna have initial Cybertruck numbers. Yeah, and we're also gonna have an update on the Mexico plant and a possible Model 2 update. So semi numbers are still in the pudding right now. We should have some of those too. There's a lot of good positive things coming.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna build into the next quarterly report, and we're gonna see a little.
During the earnings call, he kind of skirted the topic of Cybertruck deliveries.
Yes.
And said there will be some, I believe is the way he phrased it, before the end of the year. He didn't put a number of any sort whatsoever. Is that number greater than, say, 10?
Right now, they're in what's called release candidate mode. A release candidate is a variation of the production model. So there's variable suspension components,
Right.
little tiny things they've got to figure out, crash safety, all the other things they need to comply with. Once the variables are worked out, they test again. Once the tests are completed, then we can go ahead and produce 100.
Yeah.
And then they put them on the road again and try and work out all the bugs so they don't have recalls. And if they can manage this to the point where they minimize the recalls, don't forget there's a huge backlog for these trucks, then they can just ramp production and not worry about things like Ford. You know, recalling every other vehicle you put out the door is not
Never a good plan.
not a good no. So I'm gonna hang on until probably third week September,
There you go.
and then we'll see.
Heard it from the man himself. We're buying in September, apparently.
Ish.
Guys, Tesla?
I'm clipping that and I'm sending it to my my barber. And then that way, because we were talking about when I got my hair cut, I don't know if you noticed, Palantir. I just got into Palantir. We're talking about Tesla because he's like, oh no, it's going down a little bit. I'm like, off the highs. I'm like, really? You're worried about that? Okay, well, it's been a pretty good year, 100 to 300. It pulled back 10%. You shouldn't be complaining about that. You should be happy about it. But yeah, it's just you have to have the longer view, and I wasn't going to sit there and give him a fundamental analysis like Randy can. So I'm just going to send him that. Tesla today, I'm not seeing much. I didn't really. This is 3 days in a row, which is the longest run in the morning in the main show in the morning that I can remember where neither one of us traded Tesla. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because it just goes to show that you're trading the right names. You trade what speaks to you and have the discipline not to just trade Tesla because it's Tesla, which I feel I've done that sometimes too myself. So I got into Palantir because it's only green and it finally gave some kind of a consolidation top break. That was at 1775. Let's go back to the 3-minute. Broke out the top. It's already gone to 1784 here. So I just took the first leg out, ring the register. I did trail out of Intel. It wasn't worth interrupting Randy. I trailed out that as it bounced back to the upside. So in terms of where we can go on Palantir, the moon is a lazy answer, zooming out and showing you the failed break at 18. Everybody remembers 18 to 1815. Well, it was a great breakout that didn't hold on. Then the next day, the same level was the resistance. Like where it resisted and broke out from, it was like the same top. And then the stock dropped like $2 the next couple of days. So if you're not willing to cover longs as a day trader or whatever into 18 to 1810, well, I don't know what you're doing because I'm just going to assume that's going to be a brick wall again. So if you break 18, I want to be all out in front of 1815. It's probably a short up there. So let's go Palantir. Didn't you? I was going to hold up your hat, but it's not even here, Sean.
I have the Palantir hat.
Oh, yeah.
Palantir investor.
There we go.
We'll keep it here.
Let's just say that's a little bit better than this. SVIB, Risk Management Department.
Yes, yes. Well, you'd rather be.
2023.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not necessarily.
I mean, it's okay to be in that department. Just hopefully you cashed out before that happened, because, you know, you got to be careful with Silicon Valley Bank. All right, yeah, that's a good trade on Palantir, man. I mean, we had that Palantir long at 17. We did talk about that. That was a good trade for us today, and it is one of our best stocks for sure there today. But it did dip down. We did get stopped out there of the last piece, but again, just got it early, not late, so it's a good trade there, holding it into what is going to be hopefully a run into the close here. And you know, again, like we just said, we had Randy on. We got an 86, Phil, and then we lost right there at 86.50 once it broke right there, that high that we talked about. And then now, of course, like this is the thing. I can't just keep looking at this and saying the same thing, like, oh, that's the high, then I'm going to short it again, right? So, you know, just back and forth there with Roku.
I had this conversation with Max.
Yeah, what was
There's a
it?
process to that actually works, though. And it's so basically what it comes down to is if there's a price area where it's like it's a wide rejection zone, which when I looked at the weekly chart, it's like 85 to 89 is a legitimate rejection zone on a name like a Roku. Like you feel that, and maybe it works better later or earlier in the day or in the midday. You feel as if there's so much risk to reward that it could fall that you're willing to sort of always stop out at the high. Make sure that you're adhering to your stop, but as it goes higher, the next zone, consolidation, tight stop, you're willing to take the hit. And then when it does fall, you should have $2.50, $3, something along those lines, as long as you're getting in, getting out. The only reason I say that is you don't want to sit there doing it forever, but specifically on Roku, I just want to show it on the weekly chart if I can. So I will pull down my trade ideas. I was just looking at RCL. Shout out to Super SPAC Man, so my weekly is going way too far back there. But if you do this on Roku on the weekly, the reason everyone was sort of saying 85 is once you broke out of this zone here, there's your triple top. The last time you were there, it was this rejection. Big quadrunk gets to 85. There's a wick to 89, so it is a big rejection zone where you think some sellers would be coming in, but it's a wide zone on a strong day. So I'm not saying it gets to $89. It's just that it could be closer to 89 by the time it does a flush. I just think it's going to flush at some point. Going on to something else for a second, because I had in Snapchat, it's not waiting to the close this time, so it holds the break at 10.50. We'll ring the register. I'm going to give it a Kincaid spike. I might be clearing room in my fantasy team. On one of them, I already traded Mark Andrews in anticipation of drafting Kincaid to be my TE1. I'm an idiot. I know that if you follow fantasy football, that's not a smart move, but I'm going to trade Dallas Goedert to do the same thing in my other league. At least I'm attempting to. So I just got 1064 here, new high of the day on Snapchat. I had nothing above the 60. I have one order, then I'm waiting for a break of 70. That could be foolish, but Snap has been known to fill in gaps the last couple of days. So to the downside, fill in the gap. To the upside, fill in at least this part of the gap. So can it do it again? That would be getting to 1080 right around here, 1080 to 1085. That's what we're shooting for on Snapchat. Couple of longs. I forgot to mention this. So here's Tilray. I'm sitting in Sundial. I said I was going to do this at the end of the midday show. Tilray breakout doesn't work. So if Tilray break doesn't work, short Sundial, which I said I would do. And so load, PC load letter. This is actually pretty fortunate. I was able to get some 53s. I was getting filled at 53.5 in the midpoint, and then it stopped filling me to break down a bit. Then I got the rest at 53 when it broke down. So as long as Tilray does not make a fresh high, I'm just giving it. If it breaks the top, I get out. Otherwise, I'm sitting here for that little flush. It was much better yesterday because by this time it was already working to the downside. But as long as Tilray is going down, this is a trade I said I would sit in, and I'm risking essentially 1 cent plus slippage, which could be 1.5 cents or 2 cents.
All right, so I don't know. Like now Roku's back up to 87. I'm going to stay away from Roku just until I get a little bit of a better read. But Tesla's at the high of the day as well, trying to break out. We had that wick top to 267. This one, you know, we know Tesla has the goods, right? So if this can get going to the upside, normally I would be shorting this. The market right now doesn't really give me the vibes that this is one wants to come down. We just tried to break the 50 period, which we did, but then we stopped, wicked a little bit down there, and then busted up back up to the upside. So let's just wait to see, you know, what kind of magic, if any, is here with Tesla. I mean, if it can take down 267 right there, I think this is a reasonable opportunity. There's 267. I mean, we've already been here. You know, that was yesterday as well into that high. So yeah, a little bit of a danger zone, and we're well aware of the risks.
Danger zone.
Yeah, exactly. welcome to the danger zone. We are
Oh,
getting,
you haven't seen Archer, have you?
no, I know it, but I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about danger zone for like Top Gun and all that.
But
kind of
it's
stuff.
the same thing. So
Yeah,
if
okay.
you watch Archer, he's a huge Kenny Loggins fan.
Okay,
So
okay,
every
so-
single chance he gets to reference Danger Zone, he does it. Archer is I love like adult cartoons. If you
I still
got to
see that other one, the Mr. Pickle one.
I keep saying Sean needs to watch both Rick and Morty, and now you need to watch Archer.
and
Everybody
Morty.
out there knows
That's
what
what
I'm
it is.
talking about.
Rick
Archer is
and
freaking
Morty.
hilarious. Tesla's problem, if it wants to go higher, it should just rename itself to Tupperware. How is it that every single time you think that this is coming all the way back to $1 and just, it's going to give it up, it's going to die, the move is over, yada, 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 it's going to break down, today's the day, it's going to break down. Nope. It just comes out. It just comes out of nowhere. It gapped up today. I'm like, yeah, it died again. It's going to break. If it breaks 250, it's going to flush $1. No, it just goes up 70 cents. Now it wants to quadruple, but really, super strong move. Shout out to everybody that did not give up on this. This is maybe one of the better YOLO setups. It's not always about YOLO setups, but if you were really thinking about where's a risk to reward that makes sense, late day on these rallies where it's to day 2, day 3, and it's been doing a good job of giving it up and having people give up on it, then holding out that same support level. So everyone gives up here, it holds out 260. The next day, it fails the double tops. You're like, yeah, this thing's done. And then it holds 260 again. So you zoom in. And if you happen to be watching that stock, which I wasn't, so there's no chance I'd be in this, if you're watching that stock, once you see it try to break down the final time, so 80s and 70s, it breaks 70s, holds that. And then once there's a consolidation break, just kind of take that and give it to the low. But you got to be holding on for a bigger winner, because if you're holding from here to here, the R&R stinks because it's a trade to the downside and it's trending down. But if you're willing to hold on it, give something through VWAP, give it to that high, then you get yourself a bit of a home run. If you're doing the same thing on Maximilian's favorite, not CRVN, CVNA, I don't even know what I just typed into that level 2. If you're doing the same thing on Carvana, it wicked the bottom, but not that bad. Like it does this, it's a little bit weaker when it does this. Like it'll shake everybody out and then recover, like really shake everybody out underneath support and then recover. But when it recovers huge. So I think with this one, what you're looking for might be when it gets back to the support level and breaks it out here. So let it shake everybody out. But if it does the shakeout move and does this little consolidation, suddenly your long is kind of in here to here or to the bottom, and then you're off to the races. This just failed to break out 45 recently. There was just now, while we were talking with Randy, it broke 45, got up to the high of the day, and completely rejected it. That's a real wick. That's not some crazy dark pool. So it might be setting up that it's done for the day. At least that's what I'm kind of seeing here. But you never want to write Carvana off. Palantir, just to go back to that name, it was churning towards 18, and then it pulled back, but it just held 17.75 again. I don't want to add to it just yet. I want to see it maybe consolidate after that kind of a candle. Let's see it show some more signs of strength. But if it does get back up to 17.90, pop on the offer again at that 17.90 level, and then see if we can get some in. I do want something short. I know the market's going up.
I'm wondering the same thing, man, about this.
But this is 15.9 on the NASDAQ. And this is why. Like, I know it's like, the market's going up. Why do you want to short something? 15.9. Well, that's not bad. 15.9. Well, that's kind of good too. So you want a chance at something that's weak or has a pretty good level that you can dig into, good risk to reward, so that you can stop out and live with yourself because you were short at the high of the day and you had ample opportunity to get back down. The first thing I'm going to think about is Intel 37. Ooh, what's wrong with that chart? Okay, I'll go to the 15 because I'm missing half the day.
What does that look like, that Intel one?
37 looks much better, but it has to be 37. Like, it has to get to 37.
Yeah.
My 3-minute chart's missing half the day. My 15 isn't, so I don't know why, but 37 is the level. So if we get to 37 and we have not broken 15.9, then that can be good. You're in AMD, so I'm going to assume if it was at 115, you'd be saying that. So that's... Right, if this was at 115, then you'd say
No, it's
this.
at 113.50. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
so
not
it's.
even.
I want something that's at a level corresponding to 15.9. This isn't. It's kind of holding deep in the money, so maybe you short it off a lower high, just like Intel at 37. Apple could be something. Meta,
Tesla's
maybe.
breaking as we speak.
Meta 325 could be a thing. but like the actual high is 326. Like I shorted the lower high in Meta, so it wicked 326, and I shorted it when it was making a lower high. So that same setup would mean allowing it to get to 326 and then going for it at that point. Wave 3 trader, Randy's fundamental analysis on Tesla was excellent. Can you have him do a fundamental segment? I'll tell you this right now, every single time any automotive company has earnings, as far as I'm concerned, we should get Randy on here and do that same thing. Because trust me, when we're sitting here in the morning or during lunch, he can spew about pretty much any one of the automotive companies. He really knows his stuff. I can say he knows his shit. And he really does. And we can do that every single time if we want. I can say that.
Yeah. You can do it.
You're the one that gets in trouble from Marissa, not me.
Well, no, I get in trouble from the. No, Marissa doesn't give me trouble. It's these guys. They're trying to drum it up.
I thought it was Marissa that gave you.
No.
Oh,
she curses
okay.
like a sailor. No,
Then who cares?
No, I don't get. Come on, man. I don't get in trouble. All right. So there it is right now. 267 coming in play right now for Tesla. Feel a little bit. I mean, we dipped right into here, so I'm trying to buy 266.30s as well down there just in case we get the dip buy, because what I'm learning more and more is like we can have these great, I mean, we're learning something every day, but you can get these great ideas, and it's sure, if it breaks, it's great, but sometimes these breaks, especially right now at 3 o'clock, although we're entering into power hour, you might not have the push through. Volume is still fine. You're 89 million shares. I don't think that Tesla's going to necessarily have a problem getting excited here. I mean, it's been a nice move from 264 all the way to 267. I just worry about running out of some steam up there. So it would have been better to sort of join the party on the way up, but we didn't notice it till just now. So what I have to do is try to wait either for a pullback right now or take that break of 267, which is normally I'd be shorting that. It's just, we talked about, forever shorting Roku. I mean, if you shorted 87 again, you probably would have got stopped out. It went to 87.30. So that, this could be a short for sure now that we've seen that. But then it's like, okay, you're already up 27%. So I just go back over to Tesla and say, Tesla up 5%. Everyone's been wanting to buy this one on dips. Not everyone, I shouldn't say, but we just talked about it with Randy and whatnot. I still think there's a lot of love for Tesla. Obviously, breaking this high would be really nice, and then we'll see where we can go from there. This is just a 1-minute chart, but if it does break it, I'm already going to hold it $1 down because I'm trying to think that this 270 could be in play if the market really goes. So that's 270 right there. So 267, get it to go $3 upside. I mean, we just went $3 from 130 till now. So about an hour and a half, $3. There it is. Okay, so we're long. So now we're long Tesla. We got, what price did we get? 08? That's okay. That's fine. We'll see if we can get 50 cents. We'll try to take that first up there into the 50s, and then we'll just let it go. It's been bought up all the time on these dips. So if by some chance now it fails, then we need it to dip again and then give an opportunity to get bought up. Just a simple break back down through 267. Look, there's going to be some conservative traders that make that play, not me. I'm going to wait to see where this one can go. It's a long idea here into a market that's up 2%. I mean, right there, we could have just had 25 pennies. Let's wait. I really feel like this should be a good stop down and around here. 266, maybe even 265, 75 or something. And again, we don't want to dig into this. If the market turns around, we know that we're not going to have a necessary winner here on Tesla. So hopefully we can get that bump up into the 50s now, get 50 cents on about a 20% of it. That's what I have sitting there right now. Then we can hold, like I said, if we can get to 268, that's $1. That'll put us about 1-to-1. So that would be pretty nice if we can get that. And then after that, it's hands off and we wait to see what Tesla can do. But here's the pullback in. So it only goes 20 cents up. If you're super conservative, your out would be around maybe 266.70 because that gives you that 30 cents worth of risk or reward right there. We're not in a huge position, but like I said, the idea here is to see if it gets bought up on the dips. And, that's 266.50 right there. So that could be something as well. Those levels, 266.38. I feel like on the dips, it just needed to go down, get bought up. So go down, get bought up. So here we go. Here's the break. That makes sense. We've seen breaks happen before and fail. Meta, AMD, NVIDIA even failing on major level breaks. So let's wait to see what happens on 267. And the thing about this level is we already did this. We showed you last week or yesterday. We've already been there. That's 267 there. And then just yesterday afternoon before this happened. Like, this is what we're afraid of, right? This was at 1 o'clock, but you dipped down from 267.50 into the close, down $10 right there, right? And so that's not something that we're going to be experiencing. So we're going to watch out for this 266 50-period moving average, because right there, if you got out of the way right there yesterday, then you saved yourself a little bit of coin, right? So we'll wait. We'll see what happens down here at 266 and change. Not going to hold this one in case we are wrong on this behemoth that is Tesla.
So I'm going to answer this one for Justin in the chat just very quickly on this. But Reta is being bought, RETA is being bought for $172.50 in cash by Biogen. It is a rather large deal, so I don't know the timing on exactly when they're expecting to close this. I'm a little surprised at how tight the spread is between now and the deal price, given that big deals have been hung up longer than normal over the last few years for.
Course,
okay, I'm not going to. It's been a political shift, so that's pretty much the reason. It just happens to be true. But if you are not having a good day, I was sitting here right before this thing halted, so you're not the person that sold this. There's some prints that went off before it halted, pending the news, and there was a rumor right around here that Biogen was looking at buying them. I saw a couple of notes out about that, and then one person, like there's a couple of 10, 15 share notes that went off, or trades that went off, and then there was a trade that went off for like 1,000 shares here at like 120. It was $123. So you're not that person. Like, somebody got to buy that at that price, but somebody right before it halted sold 1,000 shares. This at a 123 when there was a buyout rumor, and when it opened back up, it was at $160, and it's trading at 165 now. If you see weird price action, like volume or orders at weird prices because it closed at 108, now it's at 123, and you're like, why is this stock up here? Before you do anything, because you don't ever want to be the person that sells that, right? Just check the news. Like, you don't need to, it's 6:50 in the morning. Make sure you know what's going on in the stock before you do anything, because that's completely insane. I would hate to have ever been in that spot. I wish I could tell you I punched long, but if it was just a rumor and the deal didn't happen, you were risking $15, so you'd want to be pretty sure that it was going to be the case. Palantir's still kind of stalling at that 90 level. Snapchat's still going. Roku is really in the zone right now. So Snapchat still at that 1065. We have the 50 long, but Roku just made another move up, and it's getting pretty darn close to 89.
89?
Like 80 to me, like that whole wave at 85 was 85 to 89 on the weekly chart. So if it breaks 88, then I'm looking for a short if it breaks 88 into the 89 level.
Wow.
It doesn't mean it happens, but that's essentially, to me, when I look at the chart, that's where it should be, and that's the level I want. So if it gets there, it gets there. I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna wait for it to go. Like, it's so strong. If the stock is this strong, and you think the short's at X price, then let it get to that price, because it probably will get there. That's the lesson I've learned over the years. Like 85, it's like, let it try to get there. And then it went to the 85 level everybody wanted. So everyone got their wish, and we'll see what happens next. This market is doing exactly, okay, lower high so far. Let's go back over to Meta. Yeah, Meta, see, and I'm like, let it get to 326 and then try the short. And the short was again at 325. So probably should be in this. If there's one last little pop, I might short it to this local high here. That's 325.25.
Here comes Tesla. And that just goes back to what I was saying about that. Remember, I was like, I was going to think about continuously shorting Roku. It's like, you got to wait. Like, you got to be patient. I don't know when that pullback's going to happen. Glad we were able to get it in out of that one. And I mean, it's right here, right? We talked about that. Like, I was like, wow, you could keep shorting it. And it was like, you got to wait, you got to wait, you got to wait. So we've already sort of talked about that. So let's see if that can come into play. Okay, Tesla just dipped down here. We bought the damn dip. So hopefully now we're long at 78 here. I don't know. Would be nice if we could get a better price, but for right now, that's what we have, and we'll have to wait to see. Just came all the way back up. It's a decent sized position now. It's not going to be a day maker or breaker. Well, it could be a day maker if it goes all the way up to the, well, it won't make my day, but it would definitely be nice if we can get back up to 267 here and continue to break higher. I do have an offer at that level though, right? So I have an offer at 267, or sorry, 267.23. I was going to say whatever that high was. I'm waiting. We have 23. So that's what I'm waiting for right there, right now, to see if we can get that into play here on Tesla. So that's sort of going to be my out. I feel like we are well positioned for this trade. let's just see. If it breaks below 266, we kind of have our outs, maybe a little bit lower than that. But let's go. Right now, our average price is 266.78. So we are going to be looking at about $1 of a hit if it does come through. Tesla, $1 hit. Think it's well worth it here. Let's see if we can get back to those highs. Again, the only thing is we're running into where we've already been. This was yesterday. That high right there is 267.50. So that's kind of what we just wicked to today right now. So wouldn't be surprised at all if this continues to sort of fester around here. And then let's hope the market can continue to bounce a little bit higher. Let's talk about.
I like that. I like fester.
Yeah, fester I think just means like kind of just like.
No, it's good.
Around.
It's a good way to describe.
Yeah, it's not like Uncle Fester or anything.
I know, but it's a really good way to describe.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
But there was a missed opportunity. I think I'm in the meta, and I'm probably gonna wish that I'd taken it here, and then could have already scalped some out instead of getting it on the way back up. But it's about 35 cents point worth of risk to the local high, so it might be a stop. But it'll be a tight stop. I try to keep it to tight stops, and then like once I'm out to this level. That's about 324.10, so I'll be out in front of that bidding. And then this is 323.25, so I'd want to be bidding in front of there as well. There's really no reason not to have it just out because I know I would take profit there. And then you're looking for VWAP, right? So every kind of key level. But the missed opportunity was you said make my day and then did not make a Dirty Harry reference. Yeah. The Dirty Harry movies are...
That is my bad. That is my bad.
They're pretty hilarious. It's just one of those, they don't make them like that anymore. At the same time, ridiculous.
Like what is the last good Western or anything that happened? Like now they're all like mockumentaries.
Cop movies are not the same thing. Like you don't really, they still do that notion where like, yeah, you happen to be so good that you can draw on like 5 guys before they can get a shot off. That's impossible. But Tombstone is so brilliantly done. Unforgiven. Shout out Unforgiven, Darwin. That's an absolutely beautiful.
How old do you think Tombstone is?
90.
Right, exactly.
No, that's...
It's...
In my humble opinion...
There has to have been something else.
I'm not going to be humble about this. I think Doc Holliday is one of the top 10 best characters in the history of film. Like, I've never seen anybody do that great a performance. Like Val Kilmer was freaking perfect in that movie, and he's the entire reason to watch it. Like everyone else is pretty good, but man, he crushes it. Like I can watch just Doc Holliday scenes pretty much all day long. It's fantastic. It's so good. And if you've never seen, if you like westerns and you haven't watched it, I'm not sure what you're doing with your life, but yeah, give it up where it's good because Val Kilmer did that, and then he was Iceman in the original Top Gun.
Yep.
Which. He's not even in the movie as much as Tom Cruise, and he still steals the show. It was a bit disappointing in the newest one, but you know, what are you going to do? It is what it is. I'm a big movie guy, and I absolutely love those two characters. Like, that's an entire career for most people, and he had an even bigger one than that. Johnny Ringo.
Who was that? Oh, Ringo, there it is.
So Ringo got played by, and it's weird because most people do not even know who the actor is. Shout out if you can even name the actor in the chat, and I'll give you some hints. He was Kyle Reese in Alien.
I mean, I have no idea. Don't look at
in Tombstone, not Tombstone, in Terminator. But he was also a lead in the Alien movies as well. And he like Michael Bain. Shout out, Michael Bain is one of the most underrated actors of the 80s and the early 90s. He had so many roles that you're like, oh crap, that was him.
Right, that's
like he's that guy, which to me is the mark of a great actor. It's like you remember the character, but you don't even always remember who played him. You're just like Daniel Day-Lewis is another example of that. They don't breed him like that anymore. So high of the day on Palantir.
Yes,
I'm not going to put the hat on because it belongs to Sean. I rang the register up there, but guess what? It again rejected 1790. So if it rejects 1790, ring the register, take some out. It is the slowest moving breakout. Like this was a great volume break. I have no idea what happened at 136 on Palantir, but it just broke out at 1750, rejected the break, and kept going. Since then, it's been a very slow grind up. So what do? You join the grind to the upside because everything else is fugazi. If it gets to $18, I think you get the heck out of Dodge because that's been the big resistance level. And you want to respect it if that's going to be the case. Yeah, we short meta, and now it's doing absolutely nothing. It's going sideways off my level, and the market is continuing to climb here. So if we break the highs, am I stopped out, not to the high of the day, but to the local high here at the quarters? Or is the NASDAQ going to hold on to 15.9, and then the longs are great, and the shorts all stink? feels like it's the shorts all stink. And if you're keeping track on Roku,
I mean, why isn't Tesla? Tesla's short has been great.
87.90 and counting.
Oh my God.
So we're getting pretty darn close. Be careful what you wish for, because if you wish for 89 to go short, maybe it's just going to get to 89 and then we can go short. So many Roku believers, Angry Bear says. Nah, just probably so many people caught short Roku, and now they're scrambling.
There could be some Roku believers as well.
When in doubt, take profit. It's just,
I'm hoping that Palantir immediately announces a very beneficial partnership to both Tesla and Palantir, because we need Tesla to go. I have the Amazon chart up right now just to show you that we are, building into a short here against 03 or 133. So we've already shorted this a couple times today. You can see the ticks and the outs. We've had some great outs, man. Sub 132 ahead of VWAP right there. That's a 131.80. So I mean, it doesn't get too much better than that. That's about $1.50 right there. On that dub right there for Amazon. So that's been a good one. So we're just letting people know that we are trying to work into that. And then unfortunately right now, as Neil was mentioning, the market's going up. It's not really going up too much right now, but the one thing that's going down, I can tell you here, is Tesla. I'm going to take out 10% right here if we can get it. Just keeps on bouncing at this exact level here of 50. So now that I say I'm going to get out 10%, maybe I don't even get anything out. There we go. Okay, we actually got that fill. So all we're doing is we've averaged in down here, but see, it's not breaking. It's not getting higher than this 70 level. So we don't, like I said, we're here for the long. If it goes back up, fine. We're still going to be in this, but let's just lighten up a little bit. It's getting on in a little bit long in the tooth here on the day. Still think it's going to go. I still think it's going to go. I still have my offer up there. It's just let's take a little bit of risk off the table. The market is trying to go, and it's not doing anything. Tesla's barcoding right here. You want to be long down here, 266, so then you can play a break and not lose that much. Right here, if everybody's, this is the danger side, this is the flip side of the trade, and we'll always talk about this as well. And that is that if there's a lot of barcoding like what's happening right now, people are looking at this and saying, let's get long now for that break into 267. Like what I was thinking earlier, unfortunately the break happened first, right? So we'd be loading up here as well. This is sort of a past support area. So now that's the problem. It's a problem because if it breaks, then not only are you going to get everybody that's caught like me up here at 267, but you're also going to get everybody that's trying to build a position down here looking at this as a support level. So when everybody's looking at the same thing, it often does not happen. So let's wait to see here if that's the case for Tesla, and let's hope that it doesn't dump out, because people are going to push it down. Like if it breaks these levels, then people are going to get out because they're nervous heading into the weekend. It is Friday, heading into the weekend with such a big move in the NASDAQ and such a big move in Tesla. Is 267 the top? We saw it the top yesterday afternoon. If it's the top today, then people will get nervous and probably push that button, and then all of a sudden that's a dollar hit that we don't need. So we'll take a little piece out here. I know I'm talking down the position. We still have a lot of shares. If it goes back up, we're still fine. But there it is, right? Like one little push down, and all of a sudden it's just bouncing back and forth. We got to have more patience here. Hopefully this doesn't crack that 266. I think that would be floodgates open, which would wind up getting us out around that 265. See, here it goes, 265 3/4. Look at the markets not even doing anything. And Tesla, good thing we got a piece out there. See, there it goes. People buying up the dips again. Like if this break,
everybody bought it because Randy talked about it.
Maybe. But right now, there it is. Let's just see what happens here with Tesla. Obviously, we're in this name, and we already have our outs. We've talked about it. So let's just, see what happens.
Winston.
Here it comes. Yeah, we're trying to chill out on it, but looks like it wants to go down.
That's another good movie. If you know where that's from, Chill Winston. That's a great movie. I have to show my black chart for Meta here because I'll show you in a second. But so Meta up at the top, you can see like the crazy action that's happened at 325. It's missing a bunch of data there, but you can get a better idea of the over/under. So I'm getting these fills at 325 earlier. That's the last one. We did get that tag in front of the previous bottom. So that was that out, and the reason I'm showing you the black chart, at least a portion of it, because instead of missing a small portion of the day, when I flip away and flip back, now I'm missing a heck of a lot more. But it's the same kind of structure as before. It's just it tags in front of that previous support level and then goes right back up to the top. So I will not reload this position. The market kind of wants this high. It wants that 2%, so I'm not going to fight it too much there. What did M Sense? Oops, I meant Sundial. What about Sundial?
Did they send
Sundial's
something? And they meant
literally not moving.
I know 3M. I should have bought that.
3M. Well, I'll go to 3M because I mean I can
it's
pull
actually
down
not-
the
it's
chart.
actually
I have
not
Sundial
doing-
up because I'm
it's
in
actually
it,
not
but I
doing
mean
anything, 3M.
I'm in Sundial short right now, like 53, 153 and change because I got a midpoint print and it won't go more than 1 cent. So, you know, I'll probably have to punch out of that one at the end of the day, remove liquidity or maybe catch a bid and get a rebate, but it's not doing anything. 3M, which I know you were just mentioning, I saw that in the chat. That's been, wow, daily load,
It's not crazy.
No, the Wawa is like all of a sudden my charts are like really slow. Let's go to the 15. It's not really crazy, but the daily chart it actually looks pretty good. I'll go to my trade ideas if I have to, but what I think you're looking for next week on 3M, if this goes any further, okay, there we go. What you're looking for next week is consolidation, very tight consolidation break, and you haven't really had that until maybe just now. Like you made the same bottom, so the 109 is your bottom. You have a double top at 113, so it doesn't really matter how long it holds this. It's just as long as it stays inside of this range, the longer the better sometimes, and then you break out a 113 up top on 3M. What I wanted to do was also give you this as well, which is a higher time frame on 3M, which is I know what you were looking at, Sean. Like it's been really doing it. And on the weekly, there's a weekly chart at the bottom. Like once it got through like 107 here, it holds 100, breaks 107. It's now on the weekly, it's at the 50 period pretty much as we speak. And if you look at it on the daily chart, like that's the 200 period that it's consolidating off of. So the next breakout breaks out the 200 period, breaks out the 50 period on the weekly chart, and then you go all the way back on the daily to this level here. It's just a lot of things that it's breaking out when it takes out 113. So it's not that you usually have 3M on your minds. It's just a pretty good looking chart the next time it takes out the top.
Yeah, I like 3M. They had those lawsuits all settled up there, and it looks like they can get through that, but I don't know. Okay, so here comes Tesla, 265.50. We're going to get stopped out on this in just a matter of seconds as we sit here and watch it. That's too bad, but exactly what we said would happen did happen. So there's the flush. Not that we thought this would happen, or else I'd be short, but that if, there we go, like if there was a problem there, that this was going to be one of the major ones. Up nicely on the day, but there it goes again, you know. Maybe it's just breaking that 50 period, but we broke it before and bounced back up. I still think this is a long. It's just like now you got to wait. Now you got to wait. You got to wait for VWAP, right? We've bounced off this a couple of times. We're not going to try to get back in. We basically took what we sold there and we bought it back right there, 266, but that didn't hold either. Don't tell me. See, now I'm going to think that was the bottom and get back in, but we're not. We're not going to do that here. We're staying green today. We're not going to like keep fighting on Tesla over and over and over again until something comes through. All right, Amazon. We shorted it here at 70. We're waiting for higher. Didn't come through, so that's that. I still think we can get that Tesla, man. I still think that this is a possibility. That's the 50 period right there. So I'm just wondering about a retake of that, maybe. Shakes out everybody down here on the bottom of Tesla, and then gets going a little bit more. But you're going to look at a minute chart, and it's going to always throw you off if you're not scalping. So if you're going to look back at this would be sort of 265 area right there. Gives us a little bit of a better area to buy Tesla. Or you wait for that 264 again. Look, we tried a 267 break. I mean, we actually, the reason why I don't put a lot of shares into that trade is because it's not like it's rarefied air. We've already been up here, and we showed you guys yesterday where some of these problems were going to be on in Tesla. And it's just right, so there's the dump out. It's right there. So we already ran into that level yesterday. So, of course, hindsight being what it is, you could have just shorted against that level of 267.50. So that would have been better. But again, with the market is what it is today, nice upside move and a little bit of a fade out. There it is right now. Maybe we just take a 266 break and make it all back and then use whatever that bottom was right there as a potential out. 45 cents. Is that worth it? See, so now we're just getting back into the whole thing again of, like that whole Roku thing. And that's why I said, like, I'm not getting back into the short now. Although, see, now the short would have paid finally at 87.30. But, what are you waiting for? What's the difference? What does it look like? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm still thinking that Tesla could get going again. I'm not obsessed with this. We can look at something else, but that's what it is. All right, right now let's take out a little bit of profit because we could just sit here and talk about trading all we want. You don't ever make money until you do, so let's do that for Amazon right there today. Nice pullback in. We're adding to the profits on Amazon. Amazon, a very profitable name today. We have not stepped out of our lane on this one at all. We just waited. Again, I feel like all the best trades today came with patience, right? That Tesla trade, not very patient, right? Tesla trade, we took the break and it just didn't work. Now it's trying to get back above 266 here again on Tesla. I am going to try that trade again. So let's just see if it does get going here. Again, back up to the upside for Tesla. We'll take a shot at this, breaking through oops, I'm not even on that stock. Breaking through 266, where is it? Right there, right now. So let's see if it does go, man. We'll be there, and let's see if it can get something going on a 266 break. Why am I not long? There we are. Okay, so we got 02s. All right. Well, let's wait to see what happens. Like, I feel, again, like that was a little bit slow there. We should have got that fill a little bit earlier. But there it is, 266. Let's see if it goes. We're going to give it to that very bottom. If it makes it again, it makes it again, man. 265.50. So that's that. We'll take a 50-cent hit here on Tesla. That's a walk in the park. But wait, let's wait to see if it gets back to 267 now. Tesla on a little bit of a rebound. Let's see what we can do on this.
I feel like I just missed
Maybe
the
we got
high.
duped again.
I might have missed the high on Roku, but I'm willing to live with that. I said 89. 88.33 is not necessarily, you know, I felt it would get a little closer to that. Like breaking 88.5, like once it's in that zone, it's like go ahead and I'd probably be in the short already. But I did take some more Snapchat out. It got to another fresh high at 10. It's just a slow climb to the upside. It got to 1070. We're long double tap at 1052. Now it's just grinding. Remember I said 1085 is kind of that local high if you zoom the chart out. Meta is still doing the same thing, which is one, being frustrating on my chart, and two, holding 325. So apparently you should have shorted Tesla for some reason, but I had no reason.
Well, here goes Tesla.
I didn't necessarily believe in it, but I didn't reload 325. I said things looked a little bit strong, but I'm still bidding down here underneath. And again, VWAP's going to be screwed up on this because I'm missing all that data. But I'm losing this local bottom here, 323.50 as my next out. Meta now starting to come and work out to the downside. Roku, as I mentioned, maybe it just made a wick high. Now this chart's doing it too. It broke 88. Okay, that's it broke 88 and went, as I said, to 88.30. So there was this wick above the 88 level. Just didn't punch through enough that I would have taken the short because I would have been throwing a stop above 89, so you're starting short at 88.30. That means you're $1 away to begin with from your stop, and then you're wanting to add to the position. So you're risking $1 in the initial, and I'd be looking to add. That doesn't really work for me because 40 minutes left in the day. Like, how much does it have to fall? It probably has to come all the way back to 86, and then I have to hold more than half that position past 87. So that doesn't really set up. Needed something a little bit higher, but congratulations if you got that top and it's working for you. I just didn't really think it was near that level that I wanted to chase it or make that move. Palantir, yeah, that's starting to come back again. So does not get through 1790 again. If it goes back underneath break even, I'm getting out. It's not bad. It went 15 pennies there, but now it's time to have a break-even stop because if the market does want to give it up, then we want to make sure that we're preserving that profit. So Palantir worked. You could have been in it all afternoon, but it did break the quarter and give you a winning trade. It feels as if for now, Snap was just a little bit easier because it's still grinding higher as the market's getting weaker. But I want to remind everybody of two things. One, if you haven't, take a chance to hit like and subscribe, but I'm going to hit it for you because of a very special reason.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
And why do you have to like the stream today?
Right.
Because Katrine herself, right behind us, give us a wave. There it is. Will be joining Prad. Joining Prad Aftermarket, so you get to understand what is she doing back there and why is she always working so hard that she can't even eat her own lunch every single day. Did you eat today? Oh, you ate your lunch today. That's fantastic.
Good job.
I'm always looking at what she has left over or has not touched, and then I'm like, you're going to eat that because it looks really good, and I'm up here, and we're talking, and I don't drink enough water. I always feel like I'm really hungry after the morning show is done because I feel like we expend some energy during the show.
Bit, yeah.
But yeah, valuable member of our team, fantastic person. You guys are going to have a lot of fun. They'll probably talk a little bit about, I almost said Day Trade the World, but Trader TV Live, what we do here and what her role is. So I think it should be fun. Make sure everybody tunes in. Hit that like.
like we're making money. Yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all that fun stuff. We're making money on Amazon. Like Amazon is just heading to the downside, man. And we talked about this as the market's starting to go down. It's fine that it's going down, but honestly, man, like I'm using up way too much time and energy looking at this Tesla trade. So, I mean, it doesn't look like it wants to work, guys. That's about all I have to say for this. So, you know, we'll see about it. We'll try to keep on doing our best here to get in and out of this name. But for right now, it's looking like it wants to go down a little bit more lower. If it just breaks this 265.25, we'll get out of this one, and that will be the end of that. I'm glad we didn't reshort into Roku or anything like that, man. Our last out was a while ago, as that name's still moving around. I do like that Palantir up there at 18. There it is. We just looking like look what's happening with this one, right? Bang on that. Like, honestly, Tesla, I can't, why am I even looking at it? So we just reshorted that. Like at the same time, like as, you know, we get hit, obviously, on Tesla, this name is falling. And so that's good, man. We have Apple as well. That's 73 cents in the money. The thing about Apple is we should have, again, looked at this level, but this is what trading is all about. I was waiting for up here again. So Apple's been a great short. We'll still hold on to the same name there into that one, but looking for new names, looking to get into something else. What you trade now is important, and that's what we're looking for. So look, trying to find some new trade opportunities. This is not even a big hit. I mean, we're short. Well, we're long at 90. We haven't taken any real shares back into this. Like normally I'd be averaged into this a lot, but we're not. So let's just wait to see. There's our fill there. Now it just needs to work. If it doesn't, then we're going to be out of that name, and I think we just did a good job of talking about that. So that's going to be Tesla, giving this one a little bit of work. Looks like we're going to get stopped out, but if it does climb back up, even into the 70s, I think we should probably take something out and then work on it from there. But right now, yeah, not a great look here for Tesla on this long. Xpeng, though, you want to talk about a name that, again, we'll be like, because it's on the sticky note there at 22, and we had Xpeng today. But look, man, we took our money. We're up on Xpeng today. It's fine. But we did get these dips, right? Look at this, 21.60. Like, how good of that would have been, right? Like, saving some trades here for the close does make sense on a lot of these names, especially if you do get stories like this. We had Volkswagen. We talked about them taking that stake in Xpeng the other day. And I said it the other day that I hadn't traded this in a long time. And there it is right there. We had this break right here of 17 right there. And we had that all the way to the top side, which is where we are at today, 22 bucks. Then moving forward, we didn't trade it yesterday, but we're back, or maybe we did, but we're back in it today off that story, trying to go long on Xpeng, and we did. Some of our best outs, though, 22.40s. Look, our longs are down here, so we take about that $1, but look where it is now, man. Monster move upside for Xpeng, and that's just continuing.
What the heck just...
A lot of people like to trade NIO, which is at $15 as well,
That's
with big size alert right there on NIO at 75. So big size at the high of the day there on NIO. Bye-bye, Tesla.
What a ridiculous run those Chinese EVs are on. Both of them have been absolutely monsters.
Crazy.
What's interesting is in the last couple of days, while both those are going, I don't think I pulled up Li Auto once, which is weird because usually we talk about all three of those together. But I just got that next fill on Meta. My chart's a little better now. So it bounced off this level here. So you see it can't get down to 324. It can't seem to break out of this, which was previous resistance. And I got a bid out 324.20. And the second it bounces here, it goes right back up, wicks 324.90, so fills in a matter of seconds, goes 70 cents to the upside because why not, and then starts to pull back in. So I wasn't ready to reload it at that time, but yeah, Meta's working, but that was a bit strange because as fast as it came down, went right back up and wicked it. I think we can get VWAP on this one. It has been a good one. I wanted to get in VWAP.
Congratulations.
There's been a lot of good trades, but I kind of feel like it's been one of those whipsaw actions where it would have been better off to just be scalping this over and over again, which I don't necessarily love doing in an uptrend. It's like, okay, you do the pullback to VWAP. I'm looking to get in, get it to work instead of going back to the well over and over again, which might have been the idea. Roku, you know what? If you're in it, it wasn't that bad, but it's not really flushing. It just bounced another time and is not exactly flushing here. So there's a chance it could still go. It's 329. We'll give you the updated imbalances or sort of the early look on the imbalances when they do come out. The longs that I have, it's time to start thinking about if we cannot break highs, how far are we going to go? One of those is going to be Snapchat. Let's just go to the 15-minute here. My 15-minute, the most reliable of charts. Because it never has issues. So Snapchat, and I'll probably show you where I thought this was going to get to, which was here, 1080 to 1085. We're having trouble, all kinds of trouble at 1070. So if it cannot get through this price, I should be getting more out. As a matter of fact, I might just get it all out if it cannot hold 1065. I'm going to put a trailing stop in there. This is one where there's been 2 days in a row, there's been a buy imbalance on Snapchat since earnings. So if there is a third one, I want to be sitting in the long for just a little bit of a pop at the end of the day. But that's not till 350. If it breaks down 65 from there, I don't want to just be holding on to it for no good reason. But if it is still near the high, I want to give it that chance. So I'm going to trail it underneath about 65 and then hold the rest for 350 and then see what can happen. So Meta short good. Snapchat has been great. Palantir, if you were long, I'd say the first quarter of the move, that's obviously much better when it broke 1750. I joined the second quarter, and that's gone 15 cents. Still near the high, and maybe it can break 18, but it's definitely running out of time for us to get that big move upside. The early mock is, I don't see it just yet. You guys all seem to have a source, so you guys let me know.
It's 58. Brendan just put it.
58 million to sell. Hold your
Yeah,
horses.
I mean, it's a monster.
It's a monster. It's free fall Friday because there's 58 million to sell on the imbalances.
It is an
Clearly being sarcastic. If you've never watched the show, then you understand we care about numbers closer to $1 billion when it comes to it comes to the imbalances. If it's not on a regular day where nothing is really happening, no index action, no triple witching, then I want to see something close to $1 billion. And on those days where there is something happening, you want to see multiple billions. Otherwise, it's not that big of a deal. When you see a B, then some people get excited about it. It's been a fun one, but I feel as if I want the market to either break 15.9 or give us our pullback, because that's more exciting. Yes, you can short off this level, and Meta's been okay. I feel as if there was probably a lot of names that were better than the Meta short. It's not the one I picked. It's been able to give 80 cents a couple of times. I'd like it to give $1.50. But if you broke the high, there'd be plenty of opportunities out there. It's just difficult when you have that strong of a day to not have follow through. Charging into longs is not an easy thing to do. If you're already in one and holding it, manage your position. And Roku is getting pretty darn close to getting back to the high of the day.
I mean, look at Tesla.
Ooh, I'll take Putin.
Like, come on, Tesla. Like, you know, we get stopped out there when it breaks through 25, and then it's whatever. I mean, the market's going down. I'm not going to get back into this. I'm not going to short it. I'm not going to do anything. We just danced around with it, and again, we don't wind up losing that much money. It's just I hate when stocks don't work out, and it's like we had that break there, and I still feel like it's going to go higher. If you do have a higher time frame than we do on this trade, which I still have a half hour. I don't need to be getting out. Oh man, that's the frustrating point about this. And I think Greg said it best here. He's like, as a trader, you're never going to be right, because when you get out, it's like there's always more that was there, and then you're always going to look back and say, oh, that was a bad out, or that, you know, you're never going to be perfect. I think is more what you need to think about. You're going to be right all the time.
He's a smart man.
Who?
Greg's a smart man, but I have a beef with Greg. Because yesterday he hustled me at golf.
Right.
True story. He missed 8 out of 9 putts, and then he's like, "Let's put something on it," and we bet like a fritter versus some coffees, and now I'm getting him coffee for the first 3 days of next week.
Okay.
And then he made up this game where you get points for putts, and then when I was in the lead, the second I made one miss, he was then he was a lot of trash talk. I don't know what's kosher or not when it comes to trash talking while someone's trying to putt.
You're not supposed to be talking while someone's putting.
So I would imagine that that's a bit of a thing. But he was and it's fine. Like, I choked. I'll admit it. I completely choked when I was up. But he was talking a lot of smack while it happened. What'll make everybody feel better, especially here in Canada,
Greg.
is thank you for the super chat. Long everything. The market only goes up. $100 super chat. We just appreciate the thought, but I love the message even better. Poutine for everyone on the floor. Any more gains today is just gravy. If you don't know what poutine is, then it makes a heck of a lot more sense when you do know that. If you don't know, in Canada, poutine is like the national dish. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's okay. Maybe figuratively it is.
No,
I don't know if we have a national dish, but if we did, I feel like it would be poutine.
I feel like that probably is what it is.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And if you're ever in like Montreal, it's
Shout out
famous
to
for
Young
it.
Gravy as well.
Young Gravy. Look, there it is.
Oh my God.
You guys have it locked and loaded.
Yeah, people
it
know
is
what poutine
delicious.
is, man.
The gravy is.
Look at Tesla.
Got to be nice and
Come
hot. I
on,
mean, now you're just
dog.
making me hungry. So let's get that off there. What else? Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it because now
It's driving me nuts.
my mouth is literally watering looking at that. I'm going to.
We would be flat on Tesla.
Did it bounce? Let me
Did
go
it
to
bounce? It's back to 267. I mean, this is so crazy. At least we had, look,
Roku broke the high.
at least we had the trade. I can only be mad at myself for the outs. Like all of these longs, only to have this. Where's that stupid, where is it? Let's keep slapping that fail on. That's disappointing. That's disappointing. I have to admit that. That's what it is. We would have been in the money if we held it all, but we don't. It doesn't matter. That's trading, and that's going to happen to all of us at some point or the other. We're almost out of all of Amazon, so we could be as mad as we want about that Tesla trade, but at the same time, Amazon still worked out for us, so that was a good one here. Into the close, into a nice drop down. Oh, we did also. This is the thing, like. Whatever, man. It sucks because Tesla's being highlighted, and we've talked about Tesla and where it's been at. Oh, I'm already bidding this price. What am I even doing right there? We're bidding 66s already here on NIO. So this is a big trade. We put on not a max position, but a good enough one here. And I'm not talking about max over there. I'm talking about share sizes here. There it is. Like, look at this trade.
Money.
Give me a break, man. I'll just short the little crap out of these Chinese ADRs here. But anyways, nice move down for NIO. This is kind of like a revenge trade right there. We found a level that we liked.
Awesome.
Tesla. I'm not going to forget about that, but that's okay. So there it is. Nice little move down on NIO. And why does NIO work? It's at the high of the day right there. So this one, we shorted 72. Our out is 75 break. There it is, going back down to the downside with an upsized position. Much more comfortable trading that than making sort of, again, nothing wrong with the decision here, but we did jump into Tesla thinking that was going to break that 267 and that it had a chance to go, but that's okay. Huge downside move now. We are bidding some 64s here. Hopefully that will come in for us on NIO. Here comes AMD, by the way, as well. AMD coming in one more time. There's the short on that. That's $1.90 in the money. We'll see if it can hold some of these levels. 112.60 into the close. The S&P is trying to get down. I guess I'm looking at the NASDAQ, but the NASDAQ's trying to get down here off of day's high. I mean, you're not too far away. That 15.9, very, very spicy as well. So let's wait to see if we can get something going. Thanks again to Long This, man. You super chatted us many, many times. So I say praise up to that one. Thank you so much for that. The cash cow, that is Long This. I remember last time you super chatted us, and you don't have to put, no one ever has to tell us how much money they make or lost. But last time, I don't think you were here, Neil. Do you remember a guy named Long This?
I remember.
Okay, so then
it's been more than just once or twice,
yeah.
actually.
Okay, so he gave $100.
I might not have been here the last time, though.
It was.
Might not have been the last.
I remember the exact number. Kind of a numbers guy a little bit. It was $37,000 that he made. He's an options trader, he or she.
What was the stock?
The stock is missing me right now. I'm thinking it might have even been Tesla. I feel like. It's something. Anyways, congratulations, Long This. I'm sure you had another banger of a day there.
You're not here next week and you're in Rome, but I think at least one day we have to source some poutine and then try and have that. I'm pretty sure Max will be cool with that. I mean, he's Canadian, so who doesn't eat poutine in
your
Canada?
Nationality has nothing to do with people.
No. But if you
like, you have to love poutine.
If you're Canadian, you have to.
Oh, if you're Canadian,
it's unacceptable.
Yes,
like I'm pretty sure, like when you do the citizenship test, they're like, do you like poutine?
Yes.
You say no, and then
you are
you're out of here.
Well, not in Canada. We accept everybody at all times. Not to get political, but
I
we
didn't
do.
say it. No, I'm just. And
What?
Palantir almost hit $18. No, actually,
I don't think we said anything incorrect there.
it is true.
We are immigrating the most of any G7 country.
Because we're the only ones that have population growth.
And we've
because
set,
of that.
right, yeah, and we've set records doing it.
I won't get into what's happening on the streets of Toronto. You can look it up on the news yourself. Palantir just got to $17.97. It's not at $18, but it's pretty darn close. It was arrows up this afternoon. It did make that bounce. I said I was going to trail it at a break even. It never broke $17.75, so we do get the fill. At this point, now this local bottom, or I get whatever you want to call it, is going to be my out. Just trail it and continue to trail. We have 12 minutes until we get 11 minutes until we get the imbalances. So there's still some time to run, but I don't want to give it that time. Where is Roku? Let me just make sure I have my trail on Palantir. And what is Roku doing? It's probably at 89. The problem with if it gets, yeah, it's here now. It's 340. This is not where you want to put this trade on. What's the risk? 25 cents? Well, it's only 25 cents.
Yeah,
I want my stop first, and then I want to get into position on Roku. So stop in. Let's see if it tries to run the actual high of the day. I wanted this to break 89. Ideally, ideally I want it breaking 89 because that's one more level that it goes above, and then you can short it. I'm not sure there's that much time. I can't read that. Thank you for the super chat, Sweetie Pies. I'll give you that much. That's all I'm going to say. It's already starting to come down in here, so let's see if we can't grab it. The risk isn't at more than 20 cents. It'll be like 35 cents worth of risk, unless I get something a little bit tighter to the 89 level. So Roku, it made one last push. It got to 88.97. Let's see what happens at 350. But it could run the top. It could run the top, but this is that level. If it does a wick break of 89, that's a much better entry to me, and it hasn't done it. And I'm not even sure it's going to. If this to work, it obviously has to not make that break. The new high, 88.99 on Roku, up 30% today. I mean, the chart is pretty ridiculous.
30%, eh?
It's hard. It's not easy. Yeah, there it goes.
Well, actually,
One more. No, it's not breaking. Okay, that might be the over-under. I was completely convinced it was about to actually break that stop. It did not trigger. Now it's back under. So, nope, not yet. Show me an offer underneath 89 and I'm adding to this, or I'm getting stopped out. It won't break. There it goes. Now it broke my stop. So what I'm getting at, if it wouldn't have broken that stop above 10, I was going to jump into 89 short again, which I might do right now. But I need to see an offer underneath 89. Right now, the spread's 5 cents. So it's 97, 96 bid, and the offers are still like 4s and 5s. What I wanted to see is offers underneath 89 and then jump into the short, giving it to the local high. I don't mind the risk to reward. I'll keep the stops tight. I don't want to average into it or anything like that. I just want to get in and out at that same range to allow it to work for that dollar. That way it's very binary. Like I don't have to worry about, am I holding on to it? Where am I adding to it? None of that stuff. It's get in, get out while the getting is good, and be willing to give up a little to try to make a nice retracement. 88.30 is probably the first out, and the rest down here at about 87.80 is the target.
all right, let's go, man. It's 341 right now. Brendan just updated the imbalance locator, and it's 308 to sell. So it's getting a little more spicy to the bottom side of the market. So let's see if it's going to go. What a great day it's been here today, guys. Thank you so much for all of the likes and the support and everything. Make sure you do hit that like and subscribe button. We are now back into, we haven't hit this all afternoon because we didn't lose $1 on anything, but we were close to that on Tesla. But there it is. Apple goes right back down into that low right now, just trying to bounce off this 195.57 here for Apple. So I just want to bring it to everyone's attention. If you are short on Apple, just like how you guys bring things to our attention, all the time, I just want to, it's at this level right now what I think is a good out if you're getting a little bit nervous or if you're short. I'm going to hold for the bottom. I think there could be a nice move down here into the close. We're below the 50 period. I wonder if we do make a march a little bit, at least to this 15.8 there at the end of the day. We still have some protection up here, so we'll see if it does give a little bit back. It's only up 1.77%, which is, again, tongue-in-cheek, because that's a great move today in this NASDAQ. Again, great move all week. I actually wonder what the weekly numbers look like on this. We did have a couple yesterday was just the Dow was the problem, right? I think everything else was pretty good there. So, yeah, we'll watch out for this market falling back in right now. The funny part about all of this is that meanwhile, I'm short NIO, which is right now heading into the gates of hell, where you belong. Right now, because I'm not mad about anything. It's great. I'm almost on vacation here. Through 13.20, I'm kind of mad about that too, actually. 13.25 right there for Ford. We're long on this one. We've still got this. Let's see if it goes into the close. That's just a position we're going to try to sit on here and see what does happen. But that's what we're doing right now. And then there goes NIO. Break. Well, I thought it was going to break. Okay, now it's back to 60. Trying to break back down near 60. We have the imbalances coming out. So if we can get something around here, 55s, I think that's pretty good down to the 200 period. Again, you know, and this is why I say trade your own book, because the amount of shares and whatnot that I have on NIO is going to be significantly different than what we had on Tesla. This is a $14 name with a high that it just gave us. So that was an easy short. It's kind of like what we were doing, what Neil was talking about there on Roku. When you get to certain levels, you have tighter stops, and you know you can play with it there. Our stop, like this one, you just want to talk about risk to reward here again. Let's be real with it. When we put this trade on 72s, I told you it was 3 cents worth of risk. Give me 4 cents on slippage, right? So right now we're in the money 12 cents. So it's 3 to 1. We took it out down here at that level. So far, so good. Let's see if it wants to continue to move down now as this market is getting ready to close out shop. Right now, 308 million to sell, Neil. I said the market looks like it's getting a little weak. That seems to be what's happening right here.
Yeah, it feels like it. Palantir is close enough to break even. And you know what? Actually, I'm not going to let it go that cent. It's about to break down. So I just got out of Palantir. It's about 6 cents on the last, but it could not get to 18 at all. So I got the re-entry and wicked the high. Right now, my stop in a situation like this is always going to be the high of the day. The closer it gets, if it breaks 88.50, I move my stop down. If it gets to 350 and we're anywhere down like in the 60 level, I tighten the stop up again because I don't want to give it to that high of the day. The closer you get to the end of the day, it's not usually always about you break a certain level, you move your stop down because it's working for you. It's also a matter of there's only so much time left in the day, so I don't want to give it all the way to the high of the day. And then I also don't want to have my targets too far down because I want there to be time to hit it. So we did get to 89. I'm going to give it my shot. I did punch out a sundial when it broke the high of the day. I'm not going to switch charts. I'll show you here. Sundial finally broke that consolidation, so it ended up not moving. It's fine. Tilray actually pulled down, and this time Sundial decided to want to randomly show strength. I am still in Meta and Snapchat, but I gave the explanation of Snapchat that I wanted to give it till those imbalances came out, because if it's had buy imbalances 2 days in a row on Snapchat, and then Meta, my stop is still at 325. I moved my stop to this local high, and I'm looking to see how far it can go. But it's 350. I might tighten the stop up again if this breaks this channel to the downside. Actually, matter of fact, I am just going to tighten up the stop now and give it to about 324.60 or so, because it's already 346.
Yeah, it's getting close.
It's a little late in the day.
Yeah, I was going to say Amazon right now is falling back in as well. So we do have some good opportunities here to get back and forth right now. So there goes Amazon. Again, we talked about that Apple level. Apple's now moving lower than that level like we mentioned. We don't want to really cover any shorts here into the close. Think this market has a chance to go, but we're still at some key levels now. So again, to play even dollars, like Amazon 132, the best we got was 131.80. I'm thinking that down here again would be fantastic to ring the register on what's going to be hopefully one last push down here in the market heading into these imbalances. We'll wait for them, and people are like, what the heck are these guys talking about? They've said the word imbalance way too many times right now. Oh no, that was not. What's going in the money for me here? Amazon? Yeah, everything. Okay, so we're fine. All right, let's just wait on, that's what I was going to show up, was the imbalances. So right here, we're going to not look at our NYSE ARCA, so we're going to get rid of that and now pay attention to what's happening here in the market. So this is going to load up, right? These are from 8:30. So Palantir, look, was a huge buy to start the day, right? That sort of got started early on Palantir. We're able to make good money on that off that 17 bid, but this is what's going to populate. Right now it's 347.35, 36, 37, so 347.40. So that's where we are right now. Check your clock and you see how far you are behind us or ahead of us. Someone said they were one time ahead of us. I thought that was pretty funny. So we'll wait to see what now happens.
They see the future, right?
That's what I said. I was like, then let me know.
I'd love to know the future.
Yeah, like is NIO going to go lower from here or not? Just an update on NIO. I think that's what it was. That's what happened to our net right there. We got that 60 fill. So now that it's starting to come back up, we now have about 20% left of this trade. So let's just see if it continues to work there. But we're pretty much out of it. If it does come a buy, it will shoot up and it won't look great, but that's what we have. We got to deal with what we have. And it is NIO right now trying to save the day to the downside. Roku, still 89, whether or not that fades or not. And Apple's just doing its own dance right now. And Apple just bounced off that level, by the way, right there. So we actually bounced off 195.40. Is everything went okay back there?
I heard that's something funny just got said, because that was a pretty energetic laugh there.
That was a pretty interesting laugh.
Something's happening. You got Brankles at the bridge, and he's chatting
Brankles
with,
is ready.
with Mad
Brankles
Max
is ready.
there. But with 1 minute to the imbalances go through, Roku did start to roll over. As I said, once you get to 350, I'm tightening the stop. I had it at 89. It now moves to 88.70-ish, probably like give it a penny or so. But it did give that first fill. There's not enough time for it to make, I think, like that really ridiculous, like it's not going to 85 or 86 or anything like that because there's just not that much time, but we have some time to run. This was the level that we wanted, so you waited for it. It eventually gets there, and let's see if we can get that flush. It did wick the top, but I did say, like, breaking 89 and failing a break was the better entry. Like I said that at the beginning, and I always believe that. If you're going counter trend and the stock is strong, it taking out a level to the top is a good place because it relieves some pressure. You get some people taking profit on longs, you get some shorts that were in there before, you get those stopped out, and then suddenly there's less bids out there if it does start to fall. So we're gonna get the imbalances in 10 seconds. Watch somehow Roku be like a bajillion shares to buy. Just in Snapchat and Roku.
A bajillion, that's a lot.
I couldn't think of another number out there.
No, just a lot.
A Googleplex. My daughter says Googleplex for every big number. That's all she thinks
does
about.
she? Okay.
Kenview is 2.2 million to buy. There's something that we're forgetting probably with them.
Yeah,
and
there's that
J&J.
share structure.
Oh, right, it's the share structure thing with J&J. So 2.2 million to buy, that's going to make some sense. I don't see any big cap tech names grab. Where's TD again? $1 million to buy again on TD. IBM. NIO's a buy of 700,000. Snapchat, 670,000. That's okay, but it's not nearly as big as it was before. So let's get something out on the offer. Apple, sell 500,000. AMD, sell 500,000.
Oh, really?
These are really small. But it's 2.1 billion to sell, Brennan just mentioned. So it doesn't seem that big when I scan the names.
Right.
But it is, so I'm not gonna, it is what it is. Like that's a correct number. First things, Roku got one fill. Now I have my stop a little bit tightened up, so I might get trailed out of this one. Yeah, what can you do? I'm gonna tighten the stop. There's not that much time left in the day, about 5 cents, and then we're out of it. Snapchat, I took the offer because I wanted it to be 1 million shares on the bid. There goes Roku, right back to the local high. So the short ends up probably closer to flat than anything else because loss, win, flat is what it is. This is the strongest stock I've seen in a long time. I mean, I can't remember. I'm sure I can think of something, but I can't remember anything that was this persistent to the upside. There was one months, a year and a half ago. I remember for some reason it was a day you were off and Arun was in it at the end of the day, and even that stock pulled back to VWAP, even though it was up like a ridiculous amount. Like most things will give it up. Snapchat, like I said, it was a buy imbalance, but smaller than before. So when it popped up on it, I should just take it all out because it paired off yesterday. What am I doing? Yeah, get it all out. It paired off last time.
Yeah.
So we're going to take the top. We end up 1050 to 1075 on Snap. My charts have been doing this all afternoon, so that is what it is. I'm now out of pretty much everything.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
9 minutes to go until the close. 8 minutes to go.
I didn't even realize this. NIO went back up. That's how light we were on that trade. Okay, so just real quick, man. We got out of Apple right here, right now. It did dip down to 195.40, so we basically wind up getting out at that support level that we talked about, 195.50. So that was a good trade for us to get out there. And then NIO, we sort of talked about that. We're basically out just waiting to get the fill on NIO. Hopefully we can get it, maybe not on that one. Ford, we can just put an offer out at any time. It's not moving. And then Advanced Micro Devices, I'm going to get out of this one if it takes 113. Let's see if this one can get to 112. Actually, I don't even have a bid down there. I was looking at that level and forgot to put a bid. Yeah, so that's like 112.65. We'll just put a bid there and see if that works. Cancel my Apple trades. We're almost done, guys, in what's going to be another profitable day for us. We're going to hit the bang button on that one. Every time you're profitable, that's a good day. We've had a lot of we haven't had a lot of red days, but, well, actually, what am I talking about? We haven't, but there are a lot of red days on P&Ls. So, on a day like today, that's been a little bit difficult. The only real, I shouldn't say it's been that difficult. We're red on Tesla, we're red on Meta, and we are slightly red on Apple. So other than that, man, XPEV win, Roku win, Palantir win, NIO win, Ford win, Amazon, and AMD. So I kind of take that back. It hasn't been a crazy bad day, but look at this Roku trade. Whenever I think about it, it's like, man, we talked about this on here at $76. We got rid of T-Doc too early. We did well on QuantumScape. That was the other way around. That was a short yesterday on QuantumScape. But I'm so surprised. And that's why when we talked about that, remember when I was in here, I was like, I'm not going to continue to short this. And then Neil mentioned looking at a higher time frame. That's kind of when you want to get involved. So maybe up there around 90. But I just want to
Look at the break just
pat myself on the back right there a little bit, because we did not get back into that short. That's a trait that I need to fix, and I think we've been doing good by not getting back into that. So good job on that one, Sean. Tesla's is what it is. AMD's down there, and Ford, I'm just going to put an offer right now because it's not. Oh, we got that NIO out right there for 1 penny better than where we got in. So nothing on that. And then Ford is just going to get out for flat. Just going to put that order out.
Yes, sir. And
Not for
that
flat,
was
but for
good
various.
timing on the out of Roku, because the second, and again, the trailing stop, it has to make sense. So as it starts to work down, it shouldn't get to the high. I always say, like, if it does this pattern, don't let it get to that high. Once it breaks one channel down, don't let it go all the way back up to the top. There's no point having your stop that high because it's trending to the upside. You should be trailing it down because it should just be working and falling apart. The notion behind that trade is that it's profit takers the entire way, and there shouldn't be buyers. So when you see them step up there, you just got to understand. Like, I'm not saying go long there, but I am saying make sure you have your stop. And I always move it to the downside. Always trade with a stop in a situation like that. Dave, hello, Sean and Neil. Where do you get the details about the MOC breakdown data? Do you mean? It
means what we show.
Yeah. So just come to my chart. Come to my screen is what I meant. Thank you very much. Fabian's on the ones and twos. So this is actually built into the P-Pro8 platform here at Day Trade the World. And I click a button that says Imbalance Locator, and I sort it for the markets I want to look at. And obviously I'm looking at the NASDAQ and the New York here. I can look at other ones if I wanted to, but I'm showing you those. And then you have all the columns like this. What size is it? How big is the imbalance? What's paired off? What's the last update in terms of time? There you go, New York and NASDAQ. The theoretical auction price doesn't really mean anything at this point. And it's just in our platform. Most brokers, if you have direct market access, it's a feature, and they're getting it in the feed. It's just whether or not you're paying for it and entitled for it. So we have it on our system, and everybody that has a P-Pro8, it's automatically in there. It's not an extra entitlement, like adding an additional market might be. So if you have that market, then you've got the imbalance data here at Day Trade the World. But you got to talk to your own broker if you're not seeing that kind of information. I can't really speak to any others out there. Bigfoot, any reason why Visa imbalances don't move the chart at all? This is a good question, because if there's one stock whose imbalances mean nothing when we see them and it's a joke on the floor, Visa always seems to pair off. It never seems to hold. Like, this 1.3 million to sell is probably going to pair off at 58 or 59. It almost never stays. I can't remember the last time it did. So because of that, and I'm not sure the reason why it shows up in balances that always pair off, it tends to not move the stock. Because when people see the million, they're like, yeah, the last 10 times it had a million share imbalance, it ended up not moving, and it paired off before the end of the day. So that's probably what's going to happen here. We'll look back in 2 minutes. Visa will be in the same range, and it will have paired off. And then because I've now said this will be the one time it stays and goes absolutely ham.
Yep, of course. That's the way it always is, man. It's always one of those things. And that's funny. I was just going to say it's a very astute look by the viewer there, because to be able to notice that without having the data, when he said Visa, both
it's already paired.
Yeah, see, so both of us pretty much immediately right there was yep, this dude,
already paired.
This dude's got it. So that's a great call by you on that one there. We got out of Ford right there, so spin the money. We're almost at the highest spot we were at today, but you guys saw some of those missteps that we did have on some of those plays. So not great, but not bad, as we do give a little bit back there on Tesla. Amazon did not do anything. We were waiting for this breakdown here, but we're still good on Amazon, man. It's 70 cents in the money. Yet again, another trade that we did give to you guys here on the afternoon show. So let's just put a bid out, see if we get there. We go. Well, there, just cracked right through us there at 07. So that's or 08. We got a good fill there on Amazon, and now we are done canceling all of our orders in what was another good day. Check on likes quickly. Katrine will be ringing the bell here into the close, so that'll be fun. But we only have 721 likes, so actually, Kat, stay right there until we get this going. We have to bribe everybody.
That's how it always
That's
seems
what it
to
is.
be.
So if we can get that up, you will see here one more time to ring that bell. So that should be a good one coming into the close. Obviously, as we go here, I want to thank everybody. Again, the midday show. We want to thank Sharif. We want to thank Proud. We want to thank Bears vs. Bulls out there. We want to thank Max, our great crew over there. Is this AJ's last day? AJ's on the bell.
AJ's got to be on the bell, man. Yeah, you got to get on the bell.
AJ and Katrine. Let's get AJ on the bell there. Glad I brought that up. That's what we're doing right now. Let's get AJ on the bell to do that, and it should be a good one. There it is. We almost got 1,000 likes as well.
Prad's got the brew, too.
Yeah, he does. Ford, IBM, we're watching this. With only a minute left, man. Wow, what a great week. I think we might have been green every day, which is a positive thing. That's good. We finished the day at a nice little level there, and the NASDAQ just continues to make people rich.
I was going to say, like 1.8% up. It's a 2% day. Visa did pair off, just that's proof. It don't get, we need to show that anymore. What I meant to get, it's been a great week for momentum trading. I think it's going to be the same because you have big earnings coming through. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun next week. Of course, we all want Sean to enjoy that vacation, but you guys are going to be here, and it's going to be absolutely fun. And I did remember the name of that stock. It was Bill. And even though it was Bill, it's a random stock, and I remember it ran all day long, and it felt like it was just as strong as we saw anything be, and then it was a great short off the end. Not Roku. Roku is almost at 90 right now. $90 on Roku incoming.
There it
AJ's
is.
last day. He's all smiles, as he should be. Don't break the mallet on the way out, though. In just a couple of seconds. Actually, it's early for some reason. Usually I hit it at 47.
Yeah, you hit it a bit earlier there. Thank you,
that's what I have to do.
AJ.
Exactly. If you hit it at 50 seconds, it's a little bit of a delay usually on it, but not this time.
Oh, so you hit at the right time, but it was
I
still
always
delayed.
hit. I always hit it at 47
Me too.
or 4 at that time.
Couple seconds early.
But this time I hit it that time, and it was too early.
All
Stream
right.
Deck's on. Wants the weekend to be here. That's all.
It's doing its own damn thing. Thank you, AJ, for everything that he's done for us. He had his cameos there. He had a couple good appearances.
Hopefully he learned some things.
Yeah, I would have liked to get him a little bit more on there, but AJ is resigning today, so he's resigning after 2 weeks.
No, he had like a short internship
Yeah,
with
it's an
us.
internship, so that's all. So he was more working on the production side.
Yeah.
So that's all. He was on the production side for an internship, seeing how things worked around here. So AJ, be well, my friend. You're in school?
No, I graduated last year.
Which school?
School in Reading, California.
Reading where?
In Reading, in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Reading, Pennsylvania. He has graduated. He gone. Internship. Maybe we can hire him here. I don't know. Where do you live permanently?
New Jersey.
Ooh, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
What up? What up, New Jersey? East Coast. All right, now we have more friends on the East Coast, so that's good. We'll be visiting AJ very, very soon. So,
If I visit Jersey, I'm probably hanging out more in Philly. I'm just saying.
Philly?
Yeah.
I'll hang out in Jersey. I feel like I'm a Jersey guy. All right, what's up to everybody again? Thank you so much. It's been a great, fantastic show. I'm not here next week. Max will be in the desk. We'll clean this all up. We'll get him ready to get locked and loaded for that one. Brendan, Neil, Max will be taking the ship. Well, I like to keep everything clean. I have my own little personal stuff around here. Sticky notes flying everywhere, daughters, paintings and whatnot. And who I think is going to win the World Series this year.
How about we add somebody first?
The Blue Jays.
You got to make a move, but we haven't done anything. So
This is from 92, 93.
92,
You can see on the back, 92 World Series. Right there. You can see everything in there.
I was kind of wondering the
all right.
same thing.
Good. Let's get ready to rock and roll. It is time to get out of here. Any plans this weekend, Brendan?
I'm going to sleep for 3 days. How about you?
All right, sleeping. Oh, I will not be sleeping. I will be.
Oh, you're going to fly, yeah.
Yeah, my tickets to the Coliseum were booked on the same day that I land. So we got to land there, head right to the Coliseum.
That's going to be a long day.
get her done, man.
Yeah, with 2 kids, 11 and 8. Yeah, that should be a long day. Going
That's
and
the
then
problem.
yourself.
I'm seeing Shohei Ohtani tomorrow.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
seeing Shohei Ohtani on Sunday, and I hope the Jays beat them both times.
Yep, we will. The Blue Jays are going to win those games. So from everybody here at Trader TV Live, thank you so much. Brendan, Neil, I'm Sean. Thanks, Fabian, Ramin, and everybody. Now it's time to go to our after show. It's Prad. See you later, guys.
Welcome to the after show. And yes, you guys are very, very excited. I know. She's coming up. Let's give her a second to set up over here. And in that meantime, we're going to talk about